11 cycles have passed. The 10th will never be. A great machine has cut the gods from the skies. Now the energy of chaos is removed from the world of Lacrin. Magic has ceased to exist. A changed world, a final cycle. There is one final journey to embark upon, a decisive duty filled, a mortal god, a few heroes, a last quest.
Suuna! Suuna! Are you okay? Suuna?
What was I thinking?
Are you hurt?
Everything I've ever done is because I believed in fate.
Right, that's...
That I had some sort of purpose. That my destiny was out of my hands. It's very, very peaceful. I felt whole, capable, and I wasn't fearless, but I didn't carry a sense of dread of not knowing what was next or what would become of me. I felt like if it was my end, it was meant to be. But that magic has left me now. I don't feel it. I struggle to walk. I'm learning to breathe. And I'm tired. I don't feel that peace. I can't hear the trees. I can't feel the world anymore. I don't feel that strength. And I'm wondering now, was it ever really mine? Have I always been this weak, frail woman, propped up by magic? What was I thinking about?
Come here. Come here. Let's pull her in, dog. You
can't do this.
You can. It wasn't your magic that
I feel wrong. I feel broken.
Well, you're not wrong or broken to me. I don't know how much that counts for you, but I was alone for a long time. I had my reasons, and I thought I was content. And then you barged in, as you do, and it wasn't. Well, I don't understand all that stuff. It wasn't that. You didn't. Well, I don't think you cast a spell and made my life interesting again. You know, it was your wit, you know, that fire in you that, you know, that's what brought brought a bit of warmth back, you know. So, well, I don't know about all the rest of it, but I know you, Suuna, and
I think you knew a version of me that doesn't exist anymore.
don't seem that different to me. Still making my life interesting, eh? You know, and you know, you're not out here doing this alone. You might not have the magic anymore, but I mean, I don't. Not saying I can do what it did for you, but I'm here trying to help as best I can. It's not much, but well, I'm doing my best.
And at this point, I show up and I grab Songbow back from Toby, and I say, "She's right. This can't even sing anymore." And I plop down on the ground, probably across from Suuna, and just say, "Everything just feels emptier."
Yes. I feel so empty.
I don't. You know, I can fix things here and there. I'm handy, but I don't know what I can do to fix that. That's.
I don't think it can be fixed. I think we broke it. Just don't know what help I can really be in this state.
Well, you did just survive that. And I'll look off in the distance to where the creature fled. So, you still have considerable strength remaining.
Yeah.
Very kind of you.
I mean, that was. You know, it was a thing.
No ordinary person could survive that.
That's right. I thought
Yes, I am a little much to swallow at times, aren't I?
yeah, I mean, that's a new level of stubbornness, I think.
Well,
Yeah, I thought we'd. I'm glad you're okay.
We're going to switch now and head over to Bellona. It has been a week, and I would like my 3 Bellona crew to roll me a dice, please.
Oh,
I can't get roll 20 to load.
that's a 3 on me. Shit.
It's okay.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Want me to roll for you?
Okay, finally. No, it rolled. Or finally, it rolled. It loaded. That was weird. Okay.
Okay. Beau, you have discovered very little information this week. I don't know what you've been doing with your time.
Yikes. Yeah, probably not paying attention.
But while you have had access to some of the resources of the Inquisition, and maybe been tasked with researching, probably by Ellie and Aura, been set to task. You most days have come up empty-handed. Now that might be that you know, somewhat actively just didn't want to go and do a lot of reading or looking stuff up or mucking in, or it might just be that you just came up with nothing throughout the week. The information that you're looking for, or at least the information that it seemed like you were looking for based on what you guys told me at the end of last week, was is extremely hard to find anyway. And most of the information that you're looking for doesn't exist. What you're looking for is information on Deavaki and the cycles and the Dying Order, and it's just not information that's available. The Inquisition, the Arcanine Inquisition, is basically the height of information, and if they don't have it, then no one has it. Now, of course, you don't have access to everything, and you've only had a week of looking through archives, or maybe speaking with a few very scattered informants, maybe one or two other inquisitors. Mostly your point of contact has been Reginald. You've been able to get him to go and look for stuff for you, and he's been bringing you stuff. Books, mostly archive information, tomes and tomes and tomes of recorded information from other inquisitors throughout the years. Not a single mention of Deavaki, not a single mention of the cycles, though there is mention of previous peoples, and there's a pretty commonly held and understood, and this is almost common knowledge, information about a time that came before your understanding of your version of Lacrin with the people that lived in it. This was a time known as, well, actually there are two time periods technically for you. There is the Frozen Age, which was a time of just ice and cold, a frozen wasteland that existed before the first men appeared and started building things. And by the first men, they are literally like the first of the halflings and the first of the elves and the first of the tieflings and stuff like that. In the varying different places, it seems that these people appeared in their own respective kind of areas of the world. On the map of Lacrin, as the Inquisition have it, there's an area that the tieflings are from, known as Muzan. There's the Mistlands, where the elves are from. Most humans seem to have populated from here in Alexandria. Things like that. But this, again, is relatively common information. It's stuff that you probably would have heard in tales, or just Aura in particular having a library of her own to continually peruse. Would know this. Ellie and Beau, being city folk, would probably be more aware of this. If you lived in the Giant Lands, or you were kind of out, you know, being a barbarian in the fields, then that might be different. But I think you would understand that this is generally common knowledge, but at least you can back it up as borderline fact when it's being presented to you by the Inquisition. The time that came before that was known as the Age of Magi. There is no record of this time that was scribed by somebody that saw it. It's mostly a bunch of old tomes and books by people that used what they could in terms of information, scrapped and pieces things together. There are stories that seem to hold some gravitas, but not really necessarily fact. And it really is just a time of magic, heavily influenced by magic, and it seems like a time that was ruled over by these people known as the Magi. It didn't seem to have too much of a... There is no real evidence or anything that suggests that there's anything other than one kind of species. You don't have like halflings and tieflings and stuff like that. There is just these Magi, but it doesn't mean that they that they weren't human, but it doesn't seem as if anybody... It doesn't seem like humans were wiped out and Ice Age came and then they came back. It seems like this was an entirely different species of people. And then an Ice Age came and then everybody rose up. There is very little crossover. It seems that not only did they disappear, but most of their stuff, the places that they must have lived, the things that they must have built in their time, also seem to have been wiped away. For the most part, though, there is records that I think Aura and Ellie might have come across that suggested that there are small pockets of what remains of their time here. Those small pockets, for the most part, seem to be the gates that you were told to visit at first. You, I think, now understand that that was not the case. You're actually working with information that the Inquisition doesn't have. While you're piecing this together, the three of you throughout the week here will have looked at a map, would have correlated some of the information. The Inquisition's information states that the ancient Magi, this race of people before, built all of these places, but you know that these are just places of immense power that are the seals that you are to break for the Dying Order. And then you're able to access Deivaki or whoever is sitting in place. The Magi built these great big structures, or they lived on them, or they left them open. They opened these gates in some way so that during this time, Deivaki couldn't trick you, so that you skip an entire step. You don't have to go around opening the gates. The trick that you were asked to do at the beginning by Ahi, to go to each of these gates and open them, you wouldn't need to do. They've been open since the previous cycle. It was simply to waste your time. So you're looking at all of this information, I think. You're looking at the stuff that the Inquisition have, and actually it's kind of out of balance with what you know. Though they do seem to have a lot of information on the previous cycle. You know it was just 1 of 9. The Inquisition seem to believe that it isn't even a cycle. They just think a cataclysmic event happened, in the same way that here we had a meteorite that wiped out the dinosaurs, right? It's the same thing. Well, you know that it was a cycle. It was the 8th cycle, this being the 9th, or partially the 10th here. It's that's happening. And that, in fact, these seals and all of this stuff has been around since the beginning. They have no information at all. Was there anything else specifically you were looking for? That you were going to use this time to have looked into... because I can give, well, Aura and Ellie can have some answers depending on what it is. Also, Reginald was at your disposal to a degree. You would come and go. You probably spent a lot of time in the Inquisition headquarters here. You had access to one room. You were given a room. Just a little more than a decent-sized room with a table in the center. Some access to things like paper and vellum and inks of different sizes, which is not easy to come by just freely, though most of you really wouldn't be shocked by it. None of you are like peasant urchin children, but, you know, pens and ink and books and stuff are expensive. But yeah, you just would have had this room to work from, and you would have been able to have Reginald arrange to bring things to you. And I think you probably would have been given access to a ridiculously large library a couple of times, which I think Aura, you might have been more interested in the others. But a huge library that you were told doesn't even have all of the information, but is still an extensive library with all of the books that aren't insanely like top secret Area 51 stuff. You know, like they would have kept back any of their black books here, but they would have had you would have had access to as much information as is freely open to your average Inquisitor. I think you probably would only have been taken there twice during the week. It's in the same building, and it's back down to the open area. That huge hallway right at the back opens up to a huge domed library, and it's just
I have a
3
question.
levels of up and down and books everywhere. And still, this whole building is very empty. Very, very rarely do you spot someone else, and when you do, they're in Inquisitor's robes and they do not speak to you.
What happened to our friend?
The primal,
Inquisitor friend.
the
The guy that's been following us around and taking notes.
Reginald, that's him. Inquisitor Reginald
okay.
Sheridan is his name. He's been around. One thing that he has been doing over the week is attempting to arrange for you to meet with Grim. He has discovered specifically he has to enter into a particular negotiation while the Inquisitors have a huge amount of influence. They can't just walk in and demand to free people who well, they can, kind of, but it's not a good time to be doing that, essentially, is how he put it. He said being diplomatic would have been the better approach, and waltzing into the fortress with the Queen and just demanding something immediately of the regent or the monarch of a city is not something that the Inquisition does, though they technically have the power to do it. They're not really fond of doing it. It rocks the boat unnecessarily. Even in these dire times. So he has been negotiating to have you 3 plus Kalugi visit the fortress dungeons, which is where Grim is, and you're assured he's alive. And I think today, if we come to this has been 7 days before we actually come to the actual live play here. As of this morning, Reginald will be missing to go and once again negotiate for you to go and see with Grim. Grim attacked the castle, the fortress. He wandered up on the day of the Fall of Magic and killed a bunch of guards, was seemingly aiming to head straight towards the Queen's quarters and assassinate the Queen. So he's really hard to get to. They stopped him. The Queen's Guard themselves, which are the innermost group of guards and the most well-trained, managed to stop him. You don't know what state he's in, though you're assured he's alive, and he's being kept in the dungeon. That's all the information that Reginald has been able to get to you about Grim so far. But he does seem to be able to get you a meeting, and that's where he's gone today to do. But until then, just if there's any other information that you wanted of them, tell me now. And I'll give you
I sent you a lot of what I'd be looking at, because I think it would become clear pretty quickly that they don't know a lot of what we were doing. They don't know about any of it. They don't know about the cycles.
My second part of this was going to be, how much did you tell them?
I think that Ellie became quite the astute student, putting on her reading glasses and started writing.
Yeah. Well, you're learned. You're not. You're essentially from noble stock yourself.
Oh yeah, that's
all
why
of you
I think,
can read and write and stuff, right? I think
she would. Oh yeah, I think that she would have been like, "What would Zach want me to do in this moment?" and would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So she would have told them, "There's so much you guys don't know. It's hilarious." And then just started writing. But her thing would have been like, "If you can't get me Grim, I'm not handing these papers over."
Right.
So
you've written an account.
Yeah.
And and Beau helped, or you did your own?
Maybe that's why Beau didn't discover as much by himself, as maybe he was helping.
Oh, trust me, I was I was checking out all the Inquisitor ladies whenever they would be passing by. Or,
I was over there with a
once.
book of mermaids.
oh yeah, but I was thinking about that one. Oh, the way she looked at me, damn, she looked like she wanted to beat me up. I was just imagining her stepping all over me.
Well, did you get her? Did you get her name at least?
No, I didn't. She was far too busy.
Oh yeah, they won't speak to you. You're
You're
under strict controlled movement. You can come and go at certain hours. You can question your point of contact, Reginald, who's always waiting for you astutely at the time that you arrive. He seems to be genuinely willing to help. It seems that I think over the week of interacting with him a little more, he hasn't really changed in his demeanor or anything like that, but I think you most certainly get the sensation that he's relatively professional, but also he maybe even a little enjoys just having something to investigate. He doesn't seem like the type that has much of a personal or social life. Maybe he seems to be an investigator through and through, like that. It was his calling to become some form of detective or investigator and an inquisitor, and ultimately almost the highest rank of inquisitor or an investigator or authority is the Arcanine Inquisition. He has expressed a couple times that this might be his last ever job because, they don't know what's going on. Whether it be the end of the world or whether it be that when the Arcanine Inquisition disbands, he remains as an inquisitor of any kind, he's not sure, but I think it's more of a sense you get from him than him actually casually chit-chatting with you about it. He's very open to your questions. He seems to want to answer it, and when you request books and stuff, he seems to be able to get them quite promptly, or let you into the library to try and find something yourself. If you can't find something, I think maybe the couple of times you visited the library has been you looking for stuff. And so those roles there were, I think, more for your investigative abilities on your own time, looking for key things, books on Deivaki, books that came from before times, anything on the cycles or...
I think Ellie would have given up on Deivaki and on the cycles pretty quickly, knowing that they don't know anything.
Yeah.
I think she would have then tried to investigate magic itself and how do people draw magic and what's it mean. And I think Ellie would have turned to Beau and Aura and been like, well, how did you guys draw magic? You guys obviously had those powers. I did too. I got mine from a shadowy figure. Like, I think she would have had that conversation even with Reginald there.
Well, a 17's nice for you. Let me just find one thing that I don't know if you knew. Maybe you discovered.
Because Ellie didn't come from a magical background. I mean, they can take magic from her, and she's a stabby stabber. Like, she just stabs people.
You find a book on Vendrus the Eternal, who is an ancient shadow dragon. And I'll put that in our group chat. That was a an impossibly powerful ruler of shadows. There is a title in the plane of the Shadowfell known as the Ruler of Shadows, and that was the title that you were being groomed for by this figure. And from what you read and understand in your brief week here, it seems as if you were previously speaking to somebody known as Vendrus the Eternal, and they granted you an element of their power. Vendrus is the type of person or dragon or thing that employs mortals to bring her meals of elves and humans in mortal pledges, and then when they die, she traps their souls inside of her body, and her body is by an account here, set of moving shadows that twist into faces and strange souls that are trapped within her body. You don't think you were being brought up as a meal or anything like that, but this is just the account that you have of Vendrus. it really did seem, I think, to you as if Vendrus was very willing to work with you and bring you to the Shadowfell to rule over a portion of it. You were about as powerful as one can be in terms of a, you know, you weren't like a god figure, but you guys were getting extremely powerful while magic was around. And it seemed like the type of thing that you were a lifeless with a mastery over death of some sort. And, you know, there was probably a version of events that would have had you become the ruler of shadows eventually. We may never know, but you do find several accounts to do with this figure, Vendrus, who's just unbelievably powerful. Now, you guys will have found a load of information about magic. There is really very little science around it, but there do seem to be multiple schools of magic, and each of them, there is no conclusive singular point that they come from. There are clerics that believe that they get their magic from a divine source, such as the gods. But you know the gods were false, so that seems odd, I think, to you. However, there are also druids that believe they draw their magic from the land, and that is essentially what Aura was doing even in this other plane. So there is stuff that makes sense and stuff that doesn't make sense. Stuff that I think correlates to a degree with what people seem to understand. Wizards and bards learn their magic. They go to a school, Harry Potter style, and study and learn. Some sorcerers will just be born with a wild ability. They will just be walking along one day and their powers manifest superhero style and not always in the greatest of ways. Warlocks can exchange something of great value with a very powerful thing in exchange for a portion of their power. Where magic comes from doesn't really have a singular source, at least, or any confirmed singular sources, though there are multiple accounts that say yes and multiple accounts that say no. You guys, by the end of this week, looking into this stuff, are not too sure. Aura and Ellie, in fact, all of you, all four of you even, would be relatively sure that magic does have a singular source, and it flows from the energy or being that was known as chaos, that was killed or removed, or destroyed, or however you want to phrase it. At that moment, when you guys were removed from Deavaki's foundry, and then you spent a year in a place, and then it seems at the end of that point, chaos left, was removed, was killed, was destroyed, whatever it was. There is no longer a chaos, and all of the magic went with her, it, them, that. So, whatever chaos is, or was, magic went with it. If there was such a thing as a singular point that magic came from and split into multiple different schools, or maybe later you all started to assume schools for it, might be the case. It really is kind of... It would be an entire investigation for you to probably make from the beginning of this campaign again, over. It's really hard for you to determine that from their books. They have no... There are multiple books that say this is definitively it. There are multiple books that say definitively this is not it. None of them point to a thing called chaos. You guys know what chaos is to a degree, and even then it's shrouded in a lot of mystery. So it seems, I think, to you, that chaos would be the source of magic. But whether it's the source of magic in the same way that magic can be drawn from it, or maybe it just created magic and put it into the world, and without it, it was unable to remain. I don't think you know all of that around it. But without chaos, there is no magic, is 100% guarantee here for you guys. And you also know that it went.
So if we discovered that throughout this last week, can I have taken my time to research how to track, like what the Inquisition can use to track people, as well as if we can create chaos ourselves in a way?
Unless you formulate it, it's really that the Inquisition has no information on chaos.
Could I have
the
experimented?
Almost completely believe in the pantheon of gods. They seem to have evidence that supports a pantheon of gods that have appeared and people have drawn from them and they have witnessed them. The Inquisition is pretty sure that the highest level of being are the Celestials, such as Merkel and Myliki and Deep Seychelles. These beings, they're pretty sure existed. They believed in them, and they also believed that they were gods. However, you know that there was another level above it, which was Deiveki, and maybe another level above him, which was Chaos, which is not the same thing, but still, Deiveki was came after Chaos. He was a self-professed mortal that was simply the first winner of the first cycle. You know, he was the aura of cycle 1, and just stayed there. So
I feel like though the thing that we
the
that would be
Inquisition's
good
information goes up only to a point. Essentially, they don't seem to believe in anything above the pantheon of gods that you know to have been installed falsely and were actually previous cycle winners and groups. They were your group if you had lost or continued and been installed and enslaved by Deiveki. Cycle 10 would have seen another group of people, and maybe you guys would have been the gods that they believed in.
Could I have, with that knowledge, maybe seen if there's some books on magic and try to experiment to create even like small bits of chaos that would maybe let me try some of my spells?
Absolutely. There's no real books that will guide you through the specific process of recreating chaos in your own way or summoning up chaos from a death of sorts. But there is your own ways around it. Also, you had a previous question that was that how were people being tracked by the Inquisition? And for the most part, it was magic, divination, and arcani. They had a bunch of arcani, and this information probably came from Reginald more so than books. But Reginald would have confirmed that they were using arcani and they were using magic to just track people, find out information they needed. They've been stopping time and stuff like that for years, working in what is essentially a hyperbolic time chamber to further their investigations and things like that. They were the height of power, and they were abusing arcani to do it for about 1,000 years-ish.
Well, then my question would be, do they have any arcani that could store energy for magic?
Not anymore.
Not
Every
anymore?
single piece of arcani in the world stopped working. All enchanted things that before arcani there were just enchanted weapons and stuff. Arcani is just a particular fusion of advanced technology, anything from steam tech up. Fused with magic would be an arcani kind of. It's a little wibbly wobbly, but just imbuing a sword with an enchanted rune that maybe allows it to flame on wouldn't be considered an arcani. But either way, all arcani stopped working. It practically brought the Arcani Inquisition to its knees, and this was 7 days ago as of today's session. There is no magic. There is not even a drop that has been reported, or at least as far as Reginald has told you, it seems as if all magic is genuinely gone, and you're down to the basics of iron, steel, the steam tech of over 1,000 years ago. You're down to gravity and physics, you know, the same as we have for the most part. Anything magical has stopped working. Anything that was containing magic dispersed that magic, or the magic was removed from it. Any magical creatures either died or were sent back to the plane that they were from. There's an entire set of islands in the west known as the Sky Islands that vanished, gone, disappeared.
What about the gates? Was there a gate near us on this place, like in Bellona?
There is not one on Alexandria, no.
Okay.
Roll for me.
Okay. 8.
This will determine. It's too early to tell. No information has come in from any of these positions that the Arcana Inquisition were looking into, though they do seem to have extensive information on things that came from them, including the primals, which were born at the gate of time.
I think that Ellie would have mentioned to Reginald, like, check out the gates. See, because, I mean, I guess Aura would have shown that she no longer has, like, you know, the mark and whatnot of the first gate that we went to. So they'd be like, well, check out the gates, see if they're still active. Because if they're not, don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there just is no information on it. Although Reginald, maybe you would have mentioned that to him, and Reginald would already be like, I'm quite sure they'd already be looking into that. They're aware of the gates and how relevant they are. So yeah, no magic. Aura, roll me a dice.
About to ask if any of my experiments yielded anything. 14?
Nothing.
Okay. This is a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Since there's no magic, there's nothing I can do to control time or reverse time.
Nope. You and Suuna probably still have a mark on your hand, but it might look more like a scar, I think. It wouldn't really be very prominent. It wouldn't glow. It certainly wouldn't be clean looking. I think it would probably simply look like a very, very small, weak discoloration of the skin in the particular shape of an hourglass. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything coming from that at all.
I would just probably be trying this entire week with all my might to manufacture magic and then spend a lot of time poring over figuring out if I can find Deaveki, which I know may be kind of fruitless, but I think that's what I would be focusing on the entire week, is locating where he is.
Fruitless. Even using the Nemesis ability.
My question be also, if we know chaos is a thing, then is there such a thing as the opposite of chaos, which would be order?
That would be a question for you to figure out yourself.
Because they're obviously not going to know.
Yeah,
it's not going to be in books.
Unfortunately, there's no book. You are essentially ahead of what the Inquisition know, though there might be some blanks on the mortal side of things, or on Lacrin's side of things, or on history's side of things that you can fill out. And if going forward you maybe have some questions about something in history that you want me to answer, you might be able to say that you found a book on that in this time. But it has only been a week, and although a week seems like a long time, not an enormous amount of time to manually be going through books and trying to find information. But I think what you've done is you've kind of confirmed that realistically, they don't have any information. Deaveki wouldn't have really wanted anyone to know of his existence. The whole point of him having a pantheon of gods was to create an illusion of a pantheon of gods, so that anybody that does come into the Dying Order, no matter who on this mortal, the Kryn was chosen, would never have the knowledge of him existing. Ahi is the closest thing to the possible link to Deivaki, and even Ahi is not mentioned anywhere. He never wanted anyone to know of his existence, and he was in the perfect position and has been playing this game for so much longer than you, that essentially he was able to... There's just literally no way that anyone would have found out. And on top of that, anybody who did, and probably found out previously, you may be able to piece together a little from Mother Numera's conversation with you, and then later your conversation with the god Savras, that anybody that does come close to discovering any of this very real information was removed, killed, just plucked from existence by Savras. The Mother Numera was plucked up by Ahi and Savras in that last final moment of hers, because she was finally found. She might have been the only mortal thing that had any real awareness of Deivaki, and even she didn't seem to have the full scope of everything. And that's the maximum level of divination power. So it seems like probably people have discovered this information, but there's no way anybody got it into a book in time. The moment people found things, an even more powerful divination god came down and stopped that information from becoming fact or being used. That is again information that you would have, and not the Inquisition. But it's kind of what Mother Numera and Savras told you, which Ellie, you were present for both, so you would have some idea of that. And also, I imagine you also had like 10 weeks together that we didn't see, talking and walking and maybe piecing some little bits together like that. So I'm willing to give you all the benefit of some knowledge there. So yeah, you're kind of ahead when it comes to at least the search for Deivaki, or any knowledge or how to maybe jumpstart magic again or anything like that. Unfortunately, you guys it's what you guys have. You guys are the forefront information. Any notes you've taken, any ideas you've formulated, and any plans you make now really is the only option. That being said, there could be stuff littered around for you to go out and find, but where it is, what it is, we don't know.
I think our next best bet would be to go and just try to find whoever Deivaki was. Like, not even in the library, because they wouldn't know we've found that out. So just to try and go find him.
Well, maybe this is where we should join you three today. I imagine you would have been staying. All of you would be staying at the Assassin's Guild.
Yeah.
Including Kalugi.
Yeah.
And have you been keeping with Kalugi? Because he's been wanting to run off and drink himself into a stupor, most likely. But
I think that I would have asked Zach to bring, have a couple assassins watching him.
And let's say it is now the morning of that is Kalugi's dice roll. It is the morning of day 7. 1 week since you came back. 1 week since Bellona was falling apart. 1 week since Aura stumbled through her front door to find Alvin sick. And 1 week since Suuna and the others began their journey on the other side in Yoskorin. Where would you like to start this day? Would you have gone straight to the Inquisition room? Would you be in somewhere in the Assassin's Guild. What do you guys think?
I think before any of us left, I would say I don't think that the Inquisition has any information for us. I feel like we've been spinning our wheels there all week. I keep
we
reading
learned a
books
lot
about nothing,
We learned a lot about what they don't know.
which is everything.
Well, if this Reginald guy keeps true to his word and we can see Grim, maybe Grim will know something.
Don't you think we should find Suuna? I mean, it's been a week, and I've had that feeling in my stomach this whole time that something's not right.
I can't agree more. I
don't think it's as easy as going and finding her. Wouldn't you think that she'd come here?
Well, I thought she'd be here by now.
Brad, we know it takes like a month to get here, right? And it's only been like a week.
Yeah, it's hard to work out.
At least Ellie would know, right? Because in my dream world,
there are multiple different ways to get from place to place. I think, using on foot and going by, standard ferry or ship that would be direct. The quickest you could do it is maybe 3 weeks, and that is accounting for you walk out of the door immediately, straight onto a ship, straight over the water, straight off a ship in Bellona and go to there. It's rare. You'd have to be quite rich to be able to do that, and you also need the world to not be ending around you. So yeah,
I think Ellie would describe that like, I did this in my dream world. I was a vagabond. This is how I got there. This is how long it took. Like, there's no way that she would realistically, without magic, be here right now.
I know, but I guess we haven't heard from her. I feel like we should have heard from her by now.
As long as we can still sense her, and I look at Beau, then I don't think we should worry yet. I think it's if we can no longer sense her, and I don't think that we should rush over there. Because what if she's rushing over here and we miss each other halfway?
Has anyone been to the bar this week?
Maybe at night.
You been to the tavern?
Probably at night.
I think if Beau wanted to go to the bar, then Ellie would have followed him.
Then you would have had message from Suuna. There would have been a message, which I wrote down and immediately lost. That
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Wonderful. I have to find it as well. One moment. Got it. For Kalugi, Grim, Ellie, Beau, or Aura, I hope this message finds you and finds you well. En route from Yoskoran to Bellona, please wait for me. I will come here when I arrive. Kalugi, Grim, if you receive this, our quest is half complete, but there's more to do. Please find Ellie, Beau, or Aura and let them know I'm on my way. We are responsible for the state of the world. Give us a chance to set it right. Suuna.
You would have that letter.
Well, I think upon receiving it, I'm sure we'd all have that sense of relief, that we finally heard back from her.
I think there'd still be a sense of worry, too.
Of course.
You have a constant sense of worry for Suuna.
Yeah. Would we have sensed, like, what she not just, but what she went through with the snake?
I don't think it's that well attuned that it's an intense change. If you're in the same scene and in the same room and stuff like that, you'd have a lot more bonuses and things to rolls because of it and all the extra stuff you get. But yeah, you just have a gut feeling. It might not even be anything other than anxiety that you would be feeling, just a minor anxiety of being together for so long. You guys were together for like 3 months, I think. Going through that intense thing together, and then to have the three of you be split from one of your party members would create more of a sense of anxiety in you, but there's just a slight edge of a deeper feeling to it, I think. The sickness in the pit of your stomach and the fact that all three of you have it. But soldiers coming back from war might have the same sorts of feelings. I wouldn't necessarily say it's that you have a deep magical psychic bond, But there is something there, however you interpret it.
And there's just a lot going on right now with all of us. So
What's the next move then? What should we do?
I think we should ask around. We should, honestly, I hope we can speak to Grimm soon. You know, he was in tune with magic as well, and maybe he would know something. Plus, he seems to know a lot of the shadier people of this area. I mean, not that I don't, but I don't really hang out.
Didn't he try to kill the queen?
Do you blame him? I would say this in the Assassin's Guild. I wouldn't be saying this. If we're in the bar, I wouldn't say this, but yes. If we're in the guild, then yeah, I'd say, do you blame him? I mean, a lot of people have come through here trying to get us to go after her. It's not the smartest move.
Seemed like a suicide mission to me.
Depends on how good you are, but without magic, even Grimm, I don't think, could power through that. Obviously, he couldn't.
Well, it's gonna be tough for me to just sit still, so I don't know what we should do next.
Go ask around. We could watch people. You think he's nearby, didn't you? Or no?
I can't feel him
Anymore?
yeah, anymore. I think he's still out there. I don't think he's near us.
Well, it's gonna make it harder.
I guess it's what do we ask for too? Like, we don't know what he looks like now. I mean, I'm sure he's mortal. He doesn't look like what we saw him last, so I don't know what to ask around for or even look for myself.
Shady people who were stripped of their god powers?
Would he be like a narcissist? Do you think he'd have like he would be flaunting it, or do you think he would be more?
Oh, I think that he would. I feel like he'd be a shell of a person, not having his powers anymore.
I would imagine he's probably in the shadows, or locked away possibly somewhere.
Oh, he's got to be terrified. He knows we're coming after him.
I don't think we should find him until, we reunite with Suuna.
Yeah, probably. Because if he's not here and we have to leave, we have to wait for her.
Exactly. And she's coming here.
Yeah. It'll take 2 more weeks, hopefully. So I think we go back and we ask if we can see Grimm yet, if they worked out some sort of deal.
I think what we can do for now is scrounge whatever we can for, this journey to come. Soon I'm sure is going to need supplies too for when she gets here.
Well,
We're going to need everything we can get.
That should be easy. And I wave around to the fact that we're in the Assassin's Guild right now. That should be easy. We know the thieves as well. So this is a world that thieves and assassins still thrive in.
I mean, we have the weaponry here and everything, but food. We need food. We need.
We can get that, I'm sure.
Well,
actually,
it's easy.
Let me go talk to Zach. And I think I would head that way in the direction of his office.
Let's see if he's home. On a very simple roll. You knock on the door or you walk in?
I would knock.
Probably a moment. And I would say it's quite early. You guys, maybe you were just eating some food, preparing yourselves to head out and plan as you sat around a table in the relative privacy of the Assassin's Guild when, Ellie, you head down that corridor all the way to the very end to that large wooden door. You rap on it a couple times and you hear Zach respond. Come in.
And I walk in. Probably the first time I've walked in normally in the last 5 visits to his office.
Yeah, let's see. Roll for me.
Oh, okay. 8.
He also rolls an 8, but that means that you do see a strange register of mild shock that it's you that walks in after knocking on the door. He's taken aback by it for a moment. He moves some of the things out of his way and looks up at you and says, "Very well. What can I do
We're
for you?"
expecting someone else. And I look back at the door like,
"I don't believe you've knocked on the door for... I don't even remember how long."
oh, well. Figured I'd be polite. And then I sit down in the chair.
"You must want something very important."
Food?
"Food."
It's kind of important now. I used to not have to eat. We're going to be, once we're reunited with someone, we're going to be going and looking for one of the people we view as responsible for all of this.
Hmm.
The Inquisition can't quite help because they have no record of him.
And the Inquisition, have you told them everything you know?
Told them most,
And they
but
want
even
nothing
they
of
find a
you.
lot of it. I mean, they find a lot of that hard to believe. They have no record of who Deavaki was or the cycles, and explaining that to them, it's like trying to teach them a new language.
And nobody's been following you? They just let you go every day, freely?
No, they've been very strict there. They keep us on lockdown. I'm pretty sure they're not showing us all the books they have.
It still seems strange to me. I would have locked you up, chained you down, and had you answer all of my questions, but...
You know, we know how you and I would work, but they don't seem so keen to do that, especially without their, magic.
I've heard terrible stories of the things they've done without magic.
Are you saying I should be worried?
Perhaps not. Perhaps they are a shadow of what they used to be.
Are you planning on tying us down and torturing us to get information?
No. I have not much use for magic. Frankly, a world without it might be beneficial for us.
That's what I said in the beginning. That being said, I want to know if they're hiding a room, some books, anything from us.
I'm sure they're hiding most things from you.
Well, that's not going to be helpful for them, is it?
No. From what I understand, they are rebuilding their structure. Arch-Inquisitors. There are many of them across the world. I think that would be their priority for now, and then they shall work out precisely why the magic disappeared and whether they can bring it back.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. We've been researching that as well. Doesn't seem like they even know it stems from what seems like a single source, and that source doesn't. I don't think it's around anymore. They want to get magic back. They're gonna have to find out how to bring that back.
I'm sure they will want to restore order first, and then get back to business.
Of course. I'm sure you'll be helping with that.
Well, that depends on whether they still have the coin.
It's true.
You said
Seems
you
like they do.
wanted food.
Yeah, we're gonna be, once we are reunited with our friend, we're gonna be going and looking for a man, as I said.
Well,
This is someone that the Inquisition might want.
Which man?
You know, that whole torture and get information. He might be a good target for that.
Do you have a name for this man?
Not yet. And they don't either.
Very well.
You know, you said they knew a lot, but I'm surprised at how much they don't know.
And so,
Yeah,
perhaps it's been a farce all these years.
you could say that.
Boogeyman. Keep the people in line.
Well, are you willing to help?
I suppose so. And if it's food you want, just help yourself to the stores.
Didn't want to just steal from you. I'm not a part of the Thieves Guild, am I? Especially
yourself.
now where there's chaos outside.
Yes, kit yourself out. Take what you need. Do whatever it is that you wish.
All right. Don't worry, we'll be out of here in time. Once we're done, if I'm still alive, I'll come back, help get back what we took.
I'm thinking perhaps we'll need to move.
I mean, there's other spots in the cities we can move to. We'll be fine.
Well, when the time comes, we shall make the decisions together, perhaps.
Yeah. Then I think that he would see that it's kind of a reluctance Ellie feels. Like she knows she's going to have to come back and work with him alongside him. But, right, well, thanks for that. And I just walk out.
Yeah. Yeah, the door closes behind you. He doesn't seem to move until you leave. Where is Kalugi?
Probably passed out at the bar.
Absolutely. Are you...
Because we have a bar in the Assassin's Guild that barely anyone drinks at.
Yeah. He probably hasn't barely even needed a bed. Holcon's probably been just carrying him to and from a cot, a random one. Kalugi passed out at one of the bars as you walk past. Maybe stirs from a slumber and opening one eye says, "All right, I've got a question for you."
Like stop and look back and, oh, I thought you were sleeping in your bed.
Right, listen, right?
Okay.
Why would Grimm
Mm-hmm.
try and kill the Queen?
Because he doesn't like her.
Wrong, because she's a demon.
Well, if she's a demon and demons don't exist up here anymore, then she wouldn't be here, would she?
Then why the fuck did he storm the castle?
That's what I want to ask him.
Right, there you go.
See, that's why we need to meet with him. And, if you sober up, you can join us.
Oh, I don't need to be sober to meet with that asshole, do I?
Well, you gotta be able to walk. I'm not carrying you.
Listen, I've been walking all my life.
Yeah, well, Holcon's been carrying you to your bed every night.
Well, that was his decision to make.
That alcohol's not very cheap. I mean, granted, we got it for free, but it's not very cheap, and you've been drinking it by the bottle.
All right, put me to work. Who do you want dead?
I, pat him on the cheek, and I'm like, in time. Come on.
Okay. You'd see him look around a little. He reaches over the bar and finds half a bottle of something very dark and puts it under his coat. He's probably changed once, but he's maybe partially in strange assassin's garb, some discarded stuff.
I think that Holcon would have forced him to change after a while. No, you need to change.
He was half naked most of the time, so he's oddly dressed for Kalugi, who usually wears kind of strange old finery, and is actually in some refined, dark, sneaking wear. Quite well made, the assassin's gear would be, I would assume. But yeah, he's wearing a darker dress than usual. And probably still has his coat over the top of it. He falls in line behind you as you head back to the other two.
Yeah. All right, well, I think we should go back to the Inquisition. I need to talk to Reginald. I mean, you don't have to. You can stay here, but I'd like to see how they're getting along with the Grimm thing.
Obviously, we're not going to let you go back by yourself. We're coming with you.
We should stay together. I don't think it's good to split up.
Agreed.
All right, and we're bringing him this time. And I point back to drunk Kalugi. He's got questions, and
I mean, at this point, maybe he'll ask the right one.
yeah,
True.
we seem to be not asking the right ones, but yeah, I think we should go talk to them.
Think it's a better plan.
Oh,
Maybe.
and don't worry about food. We can just take from the stores here. I made sure Zach knew we were the ones stealing, so that way he didn't kill some
Oh,
fledgling.
right.
Oh.
Well, okay.
Oh, and don't say the wrong thing around the Inquisition. Apparently, they like to torture people for information. So
That's what I had kind
Yeah.
of imagined.
But for torturing people, don't you think they'd have more information than they do?
you would think, but we just need to give them as much as we can without giving them everything, and satisfy, their needs, so they don't bind one of us down and torture us.
Also, how do we know that they don't still have eyes on us? I'm actually pretty surprised they just let us go.
I mean, they're probably watching us when we're out. I mean, they can't come in here, but otherwise, yeah. Just assume someone's always watching.
You think they're not telling us everything?
Oh, of course not. I think that they have knowledge stored away somewhere that they haven't even let us know about.
We have to start being careful what we tell them. Because they're not giving us information, and, well, we seem to be giving them quite a bit.
Well, I pull out this scroll I have stored, and I'm like, I haven't handed anything over to them. I require a meeting with Grimm before I hand anything over.
I have an idea. It's just like an idea. I don't know. Like, if you take a page out of their book, what if we tortured Reginald?
I'm kind of.
I know that doesn't seem like that's my kind of thing, but I'm just saying,
No,
like,
but
if
I'm
he's not
kind of
telling
in-
us stuff. It's kind of like the end of the world's happening. What if we have to to do this?
Yeah,
I walk up to Aura and I put my hand against her forehead. I'm like, are you feeling all right?
No,
No,
but what
I'm
if
worried.
we have to?
I just want to
Are you sure? Because that sounds like something I'd say.
But here's the thing, though. Like, it's the Inquisition, and it's like they're this huge thing that we've all made up in our heads that have all this information, and they're this all powerful thing. And literally, Reginald's like, yeah, I don't know. The entire time we ask him anything.
Maybe we grab, one of the lower down in the ladder people.
No, we need
Or-
to get Reginald. He knows a bit.
Hold on a bit. I've seen you making eyes with the ladies in the Inquisition, especially that one, the bigger lady. I've seen you making eyes with
Well,
a lot. I mean, did you even get anything done this week?
no,
You didn't even get her name.
no, I didn't.
How about we let Beau work his magic?
What? So I lure her in, and what? We start torturing her.
You can try to
Pillow talk?
seduce her. I'm not good at this. See, I'm not good at the whole seduction thing, but maybe if you can seduce
The last
her.
time I went on a date with an Inquisition girl, it didn't go so great. I smacked her in the face, knocking her out unconscious. Okay, so I don't think it's.
Well, then we can. If that's what happens, then we can bind him, and we don't have to torture him. But we can get
Alvin's not
information.
doing well. When I left, Alvin was not doing well, and we're running out of time. I don't think we have as much time as we think.
Didn't realize that about Alvin. I'm sorry.
Well, let's not piss off the Inquisition so fast. So I think we should try to do a little bit more of a passive way. But first, I want to talk to Reginald.
I mean, we've been talking to him for a week,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
not giving us
literally like
anything.
making notes on us, and he won't even let us look at his book.
I would just start to
Yeah.
walk out. Like, I'm not going to debate it.
But Bo, aren't I? Ellie, come on!
I'm going to talk to him. I want to speak to Grimm. He's the one doing that whole thing, setting it up. We can't just barge in there, as you saw. The biggest man got taken down. There's no way we're getting it without magic.
I,
I mean, but that's one of the things, though. We don't have magic, but I got a big ass sword.
And I got a bow and some daggers, but we're not going to be able to take down the guard. The Queen's
don't know.
Guard? Have you ever went against them?
No, but I feel like I could try.
Nope. There's a reason that us assassins don't try to assassinate the Queen. Even we're not going to do that. And I look at Kalugi and I'm like, why did he go in there?
What?
Why did he go attack the Queen?
Because she's a demon.
No, oh my God, not
telling
this
you,
again.
it works
That's
for
when I
that.
really do walk out. I really do walk out.
Works it out, I tell you. And he follows as well.
You just can't
So,
get up.
I mean, I guess we should go. Well, I just feel like I think there's going to be a lot more people that are not going to make it if we don't figure this out.
No, and if we try and talk to Reginald, he's not going to give us what we want if we just talk to him casually. We got to do this the Inquisition way and maybe snag him somewhere and
I think that Ellie surprisingly might fight us on that.
I know she did not agree on that.
I thought she'd be into it.
I know. I'm just as surprised as you are. I thought she'd be all on board for that.
What if we give him one more try? Like maybe Kalugi will ask the right questions or Ellie will ask the right thing and then maybe he'll help us. But I don't know. I'm wanting to figure this out before it's too late for everybody.
Likewise. All right, so that's what we'll do. We'll give Reginald one last chance, and if he doesn't give a shit, I'm in on this with you, Aura.
All right. Okay. And like I start like breathing heavily and trying to calm myself down.
We got this, okay?
All right,
we got this.
All right, let's just go with them, and then if I think of anything, I'll let you know if I come up with a plan.
Okay, we're in it together.
Thank you, Beau.
Of course.
And I go out and
I
follow.
follow behind.
Yeah, the two of you head out into the streets of Bellona and head somewhat northwards towards the fortress, towards the area where the noble folk live, and also the kind of governmental buildings, including one building that belongs to the Inquisition. And I think that's a good place for us to go to a break. We will be back in a few minutes to see who's doing what and where and how, and whether Kalugi is still conscious. When while we're on a break, we have a little something to show you. A little ditty, a little something special presented to you on behalf of Table Story. So stick around, keep an eye on your screen. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you so much for watching. See you in a few. Bye. The swamp crew are heading towards Tecin fishing village on the eastern coast of Yoskorin, and I think it's been pretty much a full day. You've spent one night in the mountainous jungle range. It wasn't a difficult mountainous climb, but it was a mountain path through a lot of thick kind of jungle density. There have probably been a few horrible things that have been and gone. Two of you were quite injured as well.
Oh, yeah,
So
I meant to
probably
say
made
I
it-
was gonna see to them basically immediately.
Oh, I also have a heal ability that I will use.
Please
if
spend
that's
your
all right.
APs and heal
Yes.
yourselves up as much as you wish. But the journey wouldn't have been necessarily comfortable the entire way. But it wasn't too difficult for 2 days of a journey.
I'm so sorry. I have an absurd question. How much HP do I have? Because I know I only have 4 on my sheet, but I forgot what my max HP is.
10. 10 is
10.
the max for
Great.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So did anybody else
Resting
need healing?
Generate any? Sorry.
You what, sorry?
Does resting regenerate any, or it has to be mechanically healed?
Let's find out. Harm, recovery, injury, and death. You can regroup for a short time with no enemies nearby, and you regain up to the halfway point of your maximum hit points. For example, if you regroup while at 3 HP, you would recover 2 HP. So When you regroup, you can recover half of your HP. When you complete a full night's rest while in a safe place, you recover all of your hit points. Let's find out whether you were in a safe place. You were in a safe place.
Oh, wonderful.
So we can say that last night you had a full recovery during the evening.
Yay.
Right.
After a full night's sleep, although it would have been uncomfortable and no fun.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well,
No,
okay, roll dices, everyone.
Poor joke.
How comfortable was I? I was 10 comfortable.
I was 8 comfortable.
I was comfortable.
Not very comfortable, were you?
A little worried about Suuna.
10, 8, 5. Let's see how that correlates with my quest rules. A 10 is a tough choice. You succeed, but there is a cost. And a 5 is a failure. So all of you were bitten by ants. You're all covered in an itch. With who rolled the 5? With Toby being the itchiest by far. You slept comfortably, but when you woke up, you found that these little tiny ants were all over you, and they left behind lots of little bites. Nothing dangerous, nothing that's going to make you sick or anything, but your skin is itching like crazy, probably for the entirety of today.
That's another thing. I never needed to sleep before. Do I sleep now?
Yes, roll me another dice.
Dear God. 19 on that one. Please tell me I slept soundly.
Soundly and successfully with no nightmares.
I was slightly concerned that now that I sleep, that's all that would happen. So
weird experience to just close your eyes.
I've never dreamed before.
Because the weirdest thing about sleeping is to sleep you have to lay down and pretend to be asleep, and then you go to sleep.
Yes.
And it's the strangest thing that you've probably witnessed over your life, and then discovered what it is. And it's probably not great. I feel like if you've never slept before and you wake up, you probably feel awful.
It's awful, yeah. Especially because I'm breathing now for the first time. I'm feeling my age, and it's not a great experience. I thought I was dying the first time.
So you probably don't feel amazing, really, but just in a physical sense, you can feel however you wish you feel any other way. But none of you are, dying or anything anymore. You feel okay. Your wounds were relatively superficial after you kind of took some tumbles and some strikes from this snake, and then the walk and everything will have cleared it up. There's no permanent damage essentially, and you're probably feeling okay. You clear the mountainous range eventually and come to a very short, flat piece of land with a very clear path. The land begins to dip downwards, and really very openly and clearly you can see the ocean ahead of you. It stretches out pretty far. You can see the lip of a kind of a cliff edge for a lot of what you see ahead of you. Toby, you know that there's a path that leads down, and I think we probably join you just a little away from the thick jungle and the mountainous path, and now heading down a very long kind of cliff path is what it is. It's wide. It's almost like walking down into what would look like a quarry to us. There's a huge path that 2 carts could fit down, that winds a little bit down. There are points where there are steps that help you to cut off some of the path so you can start walking down the smaller trails and paths. And below you can see this little coastal port town, a little fishing village with wooden huts. There are several stone towers around. They all look like lighthouses, but they're not. They just are shaped in that kind of way. There is a particularly large building towards the center of town that seems to have a giant shard of crystal sticking up from the rooftop. That building in particular, as you get closer, appears to have fallen to recent damage. It looks kind of busted up, and the shard of crystal looks like it's kind of at an angle. You can see lots of small boats and fishing boats. At the bottom of this cliff, the town is kind of nestled in an alcove to a degree. So the immediate water around it is actually quite calm, though you would imagine that sometimes it's not always that case. You can see a lot of boats going to and from the village, and this is a village, but it's somewhere between a village and a town in size. There's probably quite a few people here, but it's still relatively quaint looking. It's probably
similar to CT, right? CT's about the same size. We're just swampy and very hot and gross, and this has a nice ocean breeze.
Right, and the same system really. This seems to be the type of village. This place most likely provides a lot of fish for a lot of for everywhere on Yoskorin. Yoskorin is not a huge island. You can get to and from one end to the other quite quickly. It's just difficult terrain for the most part. Trains do it in no time.
Not anymore.
And there are probably ships that go up and down the coast. You can see 2 or 3 larger vessels, 2 which appear to be docked and stationed and have probably been there for a long time. A different vessel, slightly smaller, but looks just like a cargo vessel, seems to have been looks of a different design to what you expect. Of gnomish design. It is a strange looking vessel and painted blue, whereas the other vessels here are just kind of wood, no paint, just varnished. There are a lot of gnomes in this village, Toby, that you would know. Most of them into fishing, and just their entire culture is built around that. They provide fish for Yoskorin. And you guys it takes a little while to get down the cliffside towards this town, and once you get there you can see a great many buildings. There are lots of different buildings, some of them with signs out the front. Many of them just seem to be buildings. They could be homes, they could be stores. It's kind of hard to tell. And there are plenty of gnomes moving around. Every now and then you'll spot a human. Maybe you see an elf loading something up onto one of the fishing vessels, but for the most part everybody here appears to be gnomes. A few of them glance up at you, a few of them wave, but nobody actively comes rushing over to you or anything as you start moving through the village. Where are you guys heading for? What are you looking for? What's the plan? What are you doing?
Well, so I think when we get down there we should maybe just book passage to Bellona right away. And depending on when the ship's leaving, maybe we could get a meal, or I don't know. But you must be hungry, Kairo.
I'm definitely hungry.
Maybe a good bath. I'm just still kind of covered in snake slime.
Really not looking forward to getting back on the sea.
Oh, right. It's our only way through, unfortunately. Will you be all right?
I'll be fine. I just, sooner we get that part over with.
Right, yeah.
If it gets too bad, just put your head between your legs and breathe. Right?
Okay.
We'll be with you.
Thank you.
Right, yeah. But yeah, I agree. Let's go see who's got in Bellona.
All right.
I go ahead and pull my hood up over my head and just keeping an eye out. I'm Inquisition, right? I don't know who's got eyes where, so definitely hood up and not showing my pink hair or my ears.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I ramble all the way to the port.
All right.
That's where we're going, I think.
And are you looking for anyone or anything in particular that stands out?
I'm assuming, although it's a small dock, there is a dockmaster down there, someone who takes care of things.
Let's find out. There is. You come to a small-looking hut towards the center of where the docks are, and these are kind of like mostly wooden and rickety-looking. This isn't like any modern, nice-looking dock with any stone areas. These are kind of like wooden piers that stretch out multiple places. It seems like everyone in town owns some sort of boat, whether it be a small rowboat or something slightly larger. And you find that
I've always
it's
wanted to live on a boat.
kind of like a marina of just multiple different piers that people are walking up and down. Towards the center, you kind of realize that there's a sign that must denote a dockmaster of sorts, but there is a shutter pulled down and nobody there.
That.
That would have made things easy. Right, do we just want to start at one end and walk along until we find someone?
Yes, I think that. Yes.
I can do it if you want
No,
to
no.
take a seat with Cairo and for rest.
No, I don't need to sit down. I'm fine.
Well, I could use a sit down and a rest, so if you want to do it on your own, that's
Well,
fine.
yeah, if you need to sit down and take a rest, I can definitely do it. It's not a problem.
Nah, same toss. I don't think I need a rest. Let's go do it.
All right.
Roll me a dice. Those of you that are looking around.
17 from me.
4. I'm
Can
pretty
I-
worried
can-
about that
That's
ocean.
right. Look at you. You definitely needed to sit down, didn't you?
Oh shit!
I don't like this quest nonsense.
You got them
Trips.
all the way here.
Falls into the water,
Catastrophe.
gets eated.
Yeah, Toby, you do need to sit down.
Actually, I think I need to apply some salve to that itch. It's kind of getting a bit. It's getting more of a burn. Actually, wait. I need to try and fix my gun real quick. So I do need
That's true.
to sit down and.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
fix
there's
that,
that bench
so-
right over there. You can sit down. Cairo, you can join him. I've got this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll handle this.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Right.
All right, I'll keep an eye on things.
Suuna, you head off down the docks looking for someone, but I don't know if you know what you're looking for. Who, what, anything in particular that you're
Well,
looking
I've ridden on a boat before. I'm not an idiot.
Yep.
I'm looking for a big vessel that's probably making passage somewhere. I'll probably just ask each boat I pass by, where's this one going, and are they
There are-
accepting passage?
3 large vessels that are seafaring vessels. There are 2 which are docked up on the northern end of the marina, and 1 which is docked up on the southern end. The one on the southern end looks way different to the others too.
What does
The
it
other
look
two-
like?
The other 2 look like they actually kind of look like the old galleon ships, like war vessels. They look big and intimidating. The third vessel, which is painted blue, is large and flat and has a lot of surface area on the top. There is a lot of things on it that have been strapped down and covered in tarps and things like that. It looks like a cargo vessel of sorts, perhaps.
Okay, right. What are the names of the ships?
Let's find out if you can see. Roll for me first.
Okay. 10.
A 10. You can see the blue vessel.
The one with the cargo one.
Yes. You can see the cargo vessel is called the Hortensia.
Oh. That sounds promising. I was just going to go based on a name, but if I can't see the other 2, then I'll probably walk down and ask where they're headed. They might not even be headed in the right direction.
Okay, roll for me again.
Okay. 5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see a human fellow moving up and down the docks nearby where the Hortensia ship is docked. There are many people coming and going from this ship. It looks as if they're either unloading or loading things onto it. You can see a lot of gnomes that seem to be wearing the same kind of attire as all the other gnomes that you've seen in town, and you can see a crew of a few people who look like they're probably the crew of the ship.
Okay.
You can also see several people standing around with their own satchels and packs that look like travelers, like they might be passengers.
Perfect.
Standing around doing nothing. As you come close, though, a human figure with very tight clothing over a large muscular frame and a flat cap steps in front of you and says,
Excuse me. Sorry.
Where are you going?
Bellona, hopefully.
Oh, right. I've not seen you.
Well, I just got here, so that.
Oh, right. You on the manifest?
No, I'm hoping to book passage for me and my family.
Right. Oh, well, you're a bit late. You want to get on our ship?
Hopefully, yes.
Oh, right.
If it's at all possible.
No, it's probably not, but you're in a bit of trouble if you don't get on the ship, right? I suppose.
What? Why?
Well, I suppose a lot of the ships ain't working. Ours is not working either, really. Not as much as it used to.
That speaks to me on a fundamental level. Is there any way you could make an exception?
All right. Well, it's not up to me. I'll have to ask the captain or maybe Eno.
I'm just. We're trying to get to our other family, and the state of the world is quite disastrous, and we just want to make sure they're okay. And it would mean a great deal to me if I could speak to the captain or
yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, I suppose. Right, how many?
3, me including me.
3, eh? All right. I suppose we might actually. Any of you been on a ship before?
Oh yes.
All of you?
We're on an island, you know. Yes.
All right. Well,
here.
you don't look like
We're
you're
native.
from around here, so
right.
that's
Well,
all,
I mean, I've lived here for 10 years, but yes, we've all been on a ship before. Yes.
Right. You worked on a ship?
No. I mean, I haven't. Perhaps. No.
All right. Can you cook?
Yes, that
Oh, you
I
can
do.
cook.
Yes. Would you like? I have the best lemon cake and all of your scoring here in my pack. Would you like to try some?
Well, I would.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And I'll pull out just a little piece of lemon cake on a little handkerchief, and I'll hand it over.
Oh, good that.
Right.
No,
Right.
That's not bad. That's not bad. But
Now,
hold
wouldn't you
on,
like
bit
to
stale.
have that for the entire? What?
Bit stale. How long have you had that?
Well, of course it's a little bit stale. I didn't make it this morning.
Oh, right. You're not from here.
Right.
You've been travelling.
Yes.
All right. Where'd
we
you come
walked
from?
here because the trains aren't working. CT. I live on the outskirts of CT Mountain. We followed the northern
that?
path to get here. What?
Where's that?
Are you not from here either?
No.
Oh, it's just on the other side of the mountain there. You see that mountain peak?
Oh, fucking hell. You climbed up that.
That's right. So it would be great if we could hitch a ride.
Bloody hell. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll probably have to ask the captain or maybe I know. Aye. 3 of you.
Yes, 3.
All
And
right.
we've all sailed before.
Aye. All right. And one of you's a kid.
No, a young adult.
Right. All right.
Our daughter is young, but not that young. She's not a child.
All right. Aye. Yeah. No, that's all right. Go get 'em then.
Great. Sure.
All
Thank you.
right.
Are you sure?
No. No, it's not up to me.
Right. Well, when will we know?
I just lift the rocks.
Sorry, what?
I just lift the rocks. That's all I do.
Right, but when will we know if we're allowed passage on this ship?
Oh, you'll have to go ask the captain or maybe Eno.
Okay, and how do I do that? Where are they?
I don't know. Well, the captain's probably in a bastard mood, so maybe you should go and ask Eno, but he's You know, he's a bit of a strange one. Not all there up there, so...
Okay.
Not really.
And how do I find him? And
have you
can
got
you
money?
take me to him? What?
Money?
Yes. Yes.
Right, well, them lot, they paid 10 gold per head.
Are you lying to me, young man?
What? No. No. That's how much it is. You got to get on that thing with us. I mean, you might, you know, you're expected to muck in as well, perform tasks and that. Like, if you've not done nothing before, then you probably have to do some cleaning or labour or lifting, like me. That's how I got on the ship. Cooking. You make some of that cake, but can you cook fish?
Yes, I can.
Right, you got spices and that. Make it taste
I
nice.
do, in fact.
No, that'll help. Yeah, roll off like that. Roll off like spice. Like hot stuff, you know.
Oh.
Stuff that'll make your eyes water. He likes that. Roll off.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
If I can't do that, perhaps Toby can do that. He always makes things too spicy, really. It just gives you indigestion. But,
right,
if he
it gives
likes
me
that, then that's
indigestion
great.
and all. Wrecks my tummy. I don't like it.
Right. Me neither. But,
No.
if the captain likes it, then
It's
that's
bad
great.
on a ship, you know.
Yes, of course.
Like, if you've not got your ship legs, like, your tummy's not right.
Then you're just on the can the whole time.
Right? Or you're being sick,
Awful.
and then who's cleaning it up? Muggins. Muggins
Just
here.
dead.
Well, you, because you're going to work
You.
for us.
Oh,
You're right with a
Right.
mop.
yes, I think I can handle a mop.
All right. Yeah, we're leaving today. You better get a move on.
Right.
Standing around chatting.
I'll turn and I'll wave at them.
Right, you see that skinny guy over there? Tall
I'm
wank of
sorry,
piss.
which
Lanky streak
which-
of piss. Right there. See him?
the one with the weird streak in his hair?
Aye. The black and
Okay.
white. Right.
Right.
That's Eno.
No,
Yeah.
got it.
He's in
I need
charge,
to-
sorta. Right.
And what does
He'll
he
get
like?
You on. He don't like nothing, really. He's a bastard.
Great. This should be easy.
Yeah, no, he's a nasty bastard, really. If you can find him, the captain's around here somewhere. Big bastard. Old bastard. Not as old as old Norris. Old Norris, older than that old bastard there. See that old guy coming over?
Really?
Yeah, look at that. How old's he? Ancient.
Does he? He looks younger than me. You're calling him ancient.
Well, how old are you?
You'd never ask a lady her age. What's wrong with you? Who raised you? Where are your manners?
I don't know. I ain't seen my parents. I've been in the giant lands.
Oh.
Aye.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go speak to Eno, and then I'll come back. I should like to know more about where you've been.
Well, we've been to
I
the
like
giant lands. We
stories.
got some of that giantish marble. You know.
Oh.
That's what we do. We go over there, pick up the rocks. You know.
And then you are going to Bellona, you say?
No.
What? Where are you going?
We're going to Daedon.
Where the hell is that?
It's one city over from Bellona.
Oh, perfect. Well, then that's fine. Okay, well, that'll do, I suppose. Toby. Kairo. This is, and you said your name was?
Wayne.
Wayne. Yes. Wayne thinks that we should be able to get on board, but we need to go speak to that gentleman over there with the skunk head. Eno.
Okay.
Skunk head, I'm
Eno.
going to call him that.
You go right ahead and do that. Just don't tell him it was from me.
All right.
Be our secret.
And how long will it take to get to Bellona?
Oh, well, the thing's battered, innit? The old ship's battered. Stopped working on account of the engine, right? There's a little tune-up, you know? A little bit of a tune-up. But now we ain't got, half an engine, so... Them lot, they've been working on it, little guys. Look at him run. Look at him go. Right, they've been working on it, they have. They've been fixing it up, right? They reckon it'll float, but I don't know anymore. We used to be able to do it in less than a month.
Oh, okay.
Any other ships heading that way? Do you know?
No. Ain't never been here before. Don't like it, it's too hot.
Yes, you get used to it.
Right.
Well, thanks, Wayne. We'll go talk
yes,
to...
thank you, Wayne, so much. I'm really glad you enjoyed the cake, and we hopefully we'll see you on board.
All right, yeah. You want to go and speak to Eno? Maybe the captain.
Right on that.
Right, and the captain, what one's he?
Captain's an old bastard. Old, not as old as old Norris, not as old as you. No, he's old though. He's an old bastard. You see him knocking about. Old grey beard, not quite as grey as yours. Bits of brown, but don't know where he is though. Yeah, you won't miss him though. Big bastard, big coat. Where's the coat? Even here, don't know why.
Great. Thank you again, Wayne.
All right, not the Goliath.
Right.
Not the Goliath. Don't talk to the Goliath. You know, you can talk to one of them. Don't talk to the other one. Don't talk to the one with the blue.
Why not?
Absolute savage.
Okay, well, I think that's a bit offensive. But
no, let me tell you something. He's a savage, right? He was up mining, taking all the rocks. Yeah. He comes over with a rock and throws it at me like I'm him. You know.
Like he expected you to catch this.
Right? How am I going to catch a rock like that? It's bigger than I am.
That's a good point.
It's like me throwing a house at him.
Well, that doesn't necessarily make him savage. It just means he miscalculated your strength.
Right, or it means you're not strong enough, really, if you look at it from his point of view.
Right, and I'm pretty strong, right? But he's a savage.
You're very strong, but he's
I think, Toby, I think that maybe insulting this man is not the way to go about anything.
Well, no, I'm just being realistic about it. He can be strong as he wants to be, but a Goliath, they're just, there's something else they've got to add.
Right, well, I see him get on all fours and catch a deer.
Picks
it up like that, alive, bit its neck. From the back.
I think his problems might go...
Just sat there and ate it.
Right, okay, we're going to go talk to Eno and we'll keep away
savage
from...
He is.
Just
Have
to be
a great
safe.
day, Wayne.
We'll keep away from... Bye.
Yeah, right, yeah, watch out, though. I don't know where that bastard is.
I'm not entirely sure how I feel about, half an engine, that whole thing has me a little bit concerned, mildly.
Right, well, he said, well, anyway, regardless of engines and stuff, right?
But a month? He said a month.
Well, I mean, it would take probably... he said less than a month.
I saw a warship down there.
Maybe
perhaps it would be faster.
Well, I mean, it's whether or not we can get past... Like, if we spend time looking for another one and this one leaves, maybe we should talk to that Eno fella first, and if we've got time, we can check with the other boats. But
all right. But
who knows one another?
We'll probably have to book passage here either way.
Yeah.
Did he say when they were leaving?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Just that we were out of time and we'd be screwed if we didn't get on this ship. I don't know if any of the other ships are going, but I also don't know if he knew. He seemed to have no clue what was going on in the harbor.
Okay.
Well, let's check with that other fella then.
All right.
It's just not on with the white bit, right? That one.
Yes. Excuse me.
Yeah, you approach a very, very tall man, human man. He's about 6'5". I can't remember how tall you guys are, but I'm guessing it's not
that tall.
Not as tall as that.
Extremely thin, borderline emaciated, thin, tall man with black hair, some greys in it, and a very thin-looking mustachio that twizzles round. Looks like a classic villain from like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon or something like that. He's holding a book and he's reading off a manifest. He seems to be kind of somewhat arranging or orchestrating what's going on with the loading of the ships. And as you approach, he turns quite slowly to you and says, "Hello."
Hello.
Hello.
We were hoping that there might be room for 3 more. You're going near Bellona, right?
And we're going to Daedon.
Right.
It's close enough.
It's just a city over for us, and we were hoping we could book passage if there was space.
Let's see if there's space for 3. Well, it'll cost you 10 gold pieces per head.
Oh, right. I just look over at Ippo.
I can do one of that. So I've only got about 10.
You may travel with the crew, but you'll be expected to perform tasks.
Oh, I can fix up stuff, and I can cook pretty well. I can fish even.
Have you ever worked on an engine before?
No.
So you
But look
can't fix that. When you say fix up things,
I mean,
you're
like,
of course referring to...
you know, like it was like structural. I fixed houses
Is that
a
a
bunch,
weapon?
and yeah.
A rifle. Can you fire that?
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yep.
Can you fire it from a moving vehicle?
Yeah, I can fire it at moving things. I can fire it while moving.
Are you willing to
won.
fire it at, say, pirates?
Oh, sure. I mean,
Very
pirates are.
He
I mean,
won
if-
he won the marksman contest over in CT.
Yep. Well, you may have heard
First
of
place.
me. Eppo.
That could
Eppo
be quite
Tobis.
useful. And you, what can you do? Can you offer us anything?
Oh, I can shoot this thing, and I'll pull out my bow.
Good shot.
You willing to
Very
fire
good.
that at, say, pirates?
Sure.
Yes, very well. And have you ever killed anybody before?
Probably not. Yes.
Very good. And then you.
Right. Well, I can cook, and I make a mean lemon cake.
Cooking.
And this is pretty good.
Yes.
Very well. Yes, you can join
I also have some of my own spices,
our crew.
if that'll help.
I don't care what you cook. I do know that the crew do not like cooking. They also do not like cleaning. We'll all be
Who
expected
doesn't
to
like-
clean.
He doesn't like cooking. It's
Everyone can clean.
Right. Of course we can.
right.
So-
When
so
do
is
you
that a
leave?
yes?
Yeah.
Yes, no complaining.
None whatsoever. We're just
no
very
matter
grateful.
how seasick you become, no matter
None.
where you are sleeping,
Right.
I shall hear none of it. And you most
Anything's
certainly shall
better
not
than
bother
fire
the
ants.
captain with any of it.
Okay.
Got it.
When do you leave?
Well, that would be down to... Where did he run off to? That would be off to... That would be down to my captain, but he... Well... Currently not here. Perhaps I can go and find out for you. You can stand with these fine people who were traveling with us before we became stranded in this savage place.
I mean, sort of right once you get used to it, really, just, you know,
Yours Corin's not savage. What do you mean?
it's quite lovely, really,
yeah.
isn't it?
It's lovely.
Fruits
Yeah,
here, and
before,
lots
but-
of, you know, some of the best fruit you can find, I
That
think.
building
you
is
can get
falling
here.
apart. I mean, they barely have a dock.
I think we should just go stand, and I'm going to grab these two by their elbows over
You hear
here,
what
and
he said
we'll
about
just
yours
wait.
Corin.
We'll,
This
we'll,
is
we'll be back. Thank you.
Yes, very
some
well.
sort of...
You there,
Thank
move
you.
that.
I mean,
Come
if
on
only
now.
he
Yeah,
knew.
find in 10
Be
years
getting
he'll
out of his
wish he
house
was
to be
retiring here.
Yeah, sure, I mean,
He
sure.
doesn't know this place. He's never been here.
Well, do you think if he knew that Suuna got swallowed by a giant snake, he would have a different opinion? Or,
No, I don't
Okay,
think that
so,
would. Yeah.
Well, being, you know, that's just wildlife. That exists everywhere. Anywhere you go, it's going to be a little bit dangerous. I mean, you should see what it's like in Dustvale. Everything's there to kill you. Everything. The sun, the sand, all the creatures. It's just, I just think that was rude.
Yeah, he was,
It
well,
was.
you know.
That was rude.
Stranded in a... Well, I
Well-
think we should maybe just check the other boats.
I think you're right.
Okay.
So,
give
Cairo,
him
do
a
you
quick
want to
check.
stay here and...
Keep an eye.
Or
I'll keep
I
an
can
eye.
stay here and you two go check, or...
I'm pretty itchy. I think I better.
All right.
I'll wait here.
Okay.
Okay.
Boogie here. We'll go check the rest of them.
All right. It's not a
Alright.
long walk, right? It's just to the other end of the dock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it takes you 5 minutes to,
All right.
to walk down it. There's quite a few people moving about you. Kairo heads over towards where the other passengers are sort of milling around. There's only 4 of them standing there. They pay you no real mind, Kairo, before the other 2 head off down the dock. Both of you roll me dice.
Christ. 3.
Oh, 17.
3 and a 17. Yeah, you're heading down the dock. Once you get close to it, you can see the 2 ships ahead of you, and they do appear to be war vessels. They have armaments on them, and they have ports that would potentially open up and poke guns through. They look pretty similar to what we would expect to be a galleon of some sort. And
Now, is this weird? Why is there a warship here?
2.
Yeah, why?
One of them looks like it's been here forever.
All right.
You can see that one is known as the Eagle, and the other is known as Mantis. And
Well, I like Eagle better, but if it looks like it's been here forever, then that's probably
Eagle
the
looks
wrong
like
choice to make.
the oldest ship of all time. The closer you get to it, you can tell that it probably hasn't been sailing even for a long time.
That doesn't mean that it'll be a bad experience, just
Well.
because it's old.
And the Mantis appears to be a little newer. It's a little larger. You can see that the armaments appear to be clean and ready. The rigging is ready to go, but there is nobody going really to and from them. But both ships do have a couple of guardsmen, watchmen, looking out for them. You can see 2 small figures, both of them with rifles similar to yours, Ippo, maybe a little better, in fact.
Yeah.
And little swords, short swords on their hips, standing near where the gangplank is. Is that what it's called? The plank to lead up to the ships. But as you're drawing closer to these ships, you pick up on a conversation. You can hear what sounds like maybe an argument between 2 people. You hear one person shouting, "No, I will not pay you any money whatsoever." And you hear a second person saying, "Give me all your money. Give me all your money. Let you in." As you
Like a robbery, like
sounds
someone's
like
being mugged.
there's a mugging happening. You look to your left, there's that kind of broken-looking building with a huge shard of crystal that looks like it's been dropped on top of it from God knows what height. Seems to be run down and broken. It looks like it was maybe a tavern, but is absolutely not in use, as there's debris around it, bits of wood, the windows are all broken in. You can see an old man with his hands up saying, "I will not give you a penny." And you can see what looks like maybe a small dwarf with a long-looking thin blade pushed up against the collar of this older man.
Toby, get your rifle out. This won't do.
I'll give you your money. I'll get you
I don't
money.
think so. Stop right there. What do you think is happening here?
What do you want?
I point my rifle at him.
I think it's high time you left.
I do what I want. I don't think he's here.
I don't think I give a shit what you want, young
Wait,
man.
I think I know. I think I know why he's here. Oh, you're in the wrong city, buddy. You're looking for the next one over for all the free booze. They're having the party the next city over.
Are you listening to me then? Because I'm the city. I lived here my whole life.
Right, but well, so you obviously heard about the party then, because someone who like you wouldn't have not heard about it. I can't believe that.
Roll me dice, both of you.
Oh, a 19 under 20.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Alright, off to the party I go. Where's that party at?
Dick City
That
over,
way.
you'll need to take
Up
up
the
the mountain
mountain.
path and
Up the
across.
mountain.
You'll
Fine.
pass a snake on your way.
Big
You'll know you're
snake.
going the right way.
Alright,
Just listen for the singing.
Okay, off I go. You see him move around the back of the building. There is a relatively, like maybe a middle-aged looking man in a thick coat with a captain's hat on his head, and a set of boots and an old set of trousers standing, his hand shaking a little. He says,
Are you all right?
I'm so very happy that you came along when you did. I was about to shout for those there guards, but I
Right, so take a deep breath. You'll be all right.
You're all right.
didn't want them to
I'm
know that.
dreadfully sorry.
Can't barely handle the
It's
idea
okay.
of having to
In
go
through
back.
your nose, out through your mouth. Nice and slow.
I'll see you again, hang
Nice
on.
and slow.
Where
Slow
to-
down there, kiddo. I'm going to go ahead
Tell
and
me
use an
one thing,
ability. I'm going to use relieve right now.
Oh, what does that do?
You say something comforting, alleviating them of anxiety, pain, or discomfort for 1 hour. In this state, they cannot be affected by fear or confusion, and for a brief time, they feel better than they've ever felt before.
Oh, okay. What do you say?
I'm just telling. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Do you smell the sea breeze? That's right. Now look at the water. What color's the water?
I don't know.
Just look, what is-
Turquoisey, green, blue.
Right,
just
okay,
like a
and
light
what
blue,
about the
baby
dog?
blue.
Right,
The dog, well, that's browns and some oranges there. Is that
There you
the
go.
yellows of the sand?
right.
Those are-
And what about my hair?
Oh, well, it's beautiful. It's very nice. Very nice.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice. And I'm just touching his arm and I'm trying to help him breathe. Just in through your nose, out through your mouth, nice and slow. There you go.
Sorry.
Did
There
he-
you go.
Seriously,
Did he hurt
Right
you?
as rain.
Are you okay?
It's okay, fellow. You can move on. My name is Spiros. He grabs your hand sooner and kisses it.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Thank you so very
Totally
much
look
for your
at
help,
Toby
sir.
like,
Well,
Well,
well, I'm just glad you're all right.
yes, I must say, I'm really
You're
quite
welcome,
frightened
ma'am.
and almost shipwrecked ourselves the other day. Oh, well, right. So, please, I do apologize. What's your name, milady?
My name's Suuna, and this here is Toby, and
Okay, very nice
we
to
were-
meet you soon.
nice
Oh,
to
very
meet
good
you
timing as well. I thought he was going to slit my throat. He thinks I
Right,
have
but
all
you're
this
all
money
right now.
because I've got a ship. Did I tell you I have a ship? That's my ship over there.
Oh, we were just trying to book passage on that
No,
ship.
you can absolutely have passage. I have quarters, just perfect quarter. You can have my quarters. Would you like my quarters?
yes, please.
Well,
not
I
you.
think that's a bit much. He's the captain. He needs his own quarters.
You
but
can have
any-
my quarters. You're welcome to join me in them, but you can have them if you'd like.
No, well, that's nice. We're sorry. We're not going where you're headed, so we'll
What?
just.
Yes, we are.
move on
We
on to find
absolutely are
another
headed.
ship.
We're headed to Bellona. It's one city away
See,
from
you're
where
not
you're
headed
going.
to Bellona, are you?
I don't suppose you could go to Bellona first.
We can't because of where it's located
Yes, well,
geographically.
we can try and get you as close as possible, which would be Daydon.
See, no, I
Right.
mean, he's only gone there. Maybe we can find someone with a flying ship.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
I can
he's
arrange for a
offering us very
carriage,
nice and,
like-
and potentially free
Is
accommodation.
this
I think we
homeless
should take him
man
up on that.
accosting you? Would you like me to call the watch? I can have the watch take him.
No, definitely not. He needs to come with us, and so does someone else. So it'd be three of us booking passage. Would that be all right?
Yes, of course, absolutely. Yes, we'll be
Oh,
leaving today, hopefully. These little gnomes have been fixing the engine. The engine's not working, I must say. I wasn't quite into using that engine when it was first introduced to me. Of course, quite illegal. You don't know that. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? I don't know. Well,
It doesn't matter anymore.
yes.
It might matter.
Well, we almost brought the ship to ruin.
You do know how to sail without an engine.
Oh, yes,
Don't
of
you?
course. Yes, of course I do. Yes, well, of course, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sail that? No, but
What-
sail, yes, of course.
What are you doing all the way down here near the warships?
Oh, well, I was going for a nice walk.
Oh,
Right, well,
sorry, it turned out the way that it did.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yes, well, I made the mistake of telling him that I was rather wealthy.
Well, yes.
yeah,
that-
don't do that.
yeah, probably
Even,
best
even
if
if people don't try to rob you, no one's impressed.
All right, well, I wasn't
So-
expecting...
Well, some people are impressed. It takes a lot to, work yourself up from
course,
wherever, you come from and
Yeah.
to own a ship. That takes a lot.
All right, yes, well, of course, yes. So, where did you send him?
Oh, I sent him
Oh,
through
we
the
sent him up
mountains.
over the mountain.
Through the mountains?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to go get him back.
Why?
Oh, we need him.
Why do you need him?
Why do we need him?
He's on my crew.
He's part of your
Your
crew.
crewman was trying to rob you?
Oh, yes, they do it all the time. They're terrible.
Oh, dear.
Yes, I don't keep any of my money on my person.
Oh.
Well, I don't
Locked
think you
away
would
in a
have
chest
He's
that
going
they
to
don't.
die. He's going to
No.
die. He's
No,
going
look,
to die.
look,
We must
I'm
stop
pretty
him.
sure that lump over there on the ground is probably him. Just see
Did
it
he
just
pass
over
out?
by the.
Yes, rather drunk all the time. They all are.
And he's good. And,
Wait, so what does he
terrible
do on the ship exactly?
how many times have you made this trip?
Well,
Successfully, how many times?
Well, I've made the trip several times. Every time, though, the crew changes over. We have to go to the giant lands. You understand? It's a lot of people being eaten by giants. So I went. My original crew, long gone. May the gods bless their souls. And now I'm really down to just myself. The original crew. We hired Roloff because he was quite good at navigation. If we've ever needed him, we need him now.
Oh, fuck.
He's never been here before. We usually make the trip up the coast of the Dustvale and then in, but we got set off course.
You've been to Dustvale?
Oh, no,
That's
no,
where
I've
I'm
never
from.
been to that dreadful place. Oh, wonderful place. I absolutely love it.
Right. Well, I will go fetch. What'd you say his name was? Roloff.
Yes, Roloff, yes.
Is that because he's prone to rolling off the ship?
No, I have no idea. It's most certainly not his real name, I'm sure.
Right. I'll go.
Savages and pirates, a lot of them.
I'll go throw a rope around him and drag him over. And,
Right, yes. That would
Right.
be wonderful.
I will get him on the ship.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Well, perhaps I'll I'll stay. Well, I suppose I can escort you, milady, to the ship. I'll show you the very nice quarters that I have. It's really the last bastion of safety on the entire vessel.
All right.
Yes, come on with me. Yes, very nice clothing you're wearing. You just say you're from Dustvale. You say.
Well, yes, but I haven't been there in a very long time, and these dreadful things. We've been walking up through the mountain, and I believe I'm a bit of a mess. But
You're up in those mountains.
yes, we came from City to hopefully book passage
Oh yes,
to Bellona.
city, a glorious city.
It's a swamp city, really.
Oh yes, I've never heard of it.
Right. Well, it's impressive to me. I like it.
Oh
Peaceful.
right, yes. Well, perhaps. Well, maybe we can. We'll visit. Maybe another time though. Not now. Not now.
Right. Of course not now. Well, but we'd like to get going as soon as you're ready.
All right. Yes,
Safely,
we're going
of
to
course.
Bellona to visit your husband.
No.
Oh,
To
good.
visit my friends.
Oh yes, of course, friends. Yes. Very good. Well, very good. Yes, come. I'll take you up there. He leads you down the dock and heads up towards the Hortensia, this kind of large, flat, relatively plain-looking vessel, though it has been painted blue. The crew, you can see many of the crew members moving around. You can kind of pick out who seems to be crew for the ship and who is passengers for the ship. They all seem to be wearing like vastly different clothing to the clothing that is fashionable currently on Yoskorin and in this town in Tecin. There's a scuffle as Toby wraps a rope around Roloff and begins to just drag him, I guess, towards the ship. And we're going to switch back over as the Bellona crew head towards the Inquisition building once again. You guys arrive relatively early morning, the three of you plus Kalugi, as you step up along the steps towards there they are, towards the building. You can see the Inquisitor that you've spoken with, Reginald, standing at the top of the steps expectantly, looking down. You see him looking around, and then he sees you and gives you a curt wave as the four of you make your way up the few steps to this quite large, flat, square, plain-looking building, and he greets you one by one and then says, "Oh, I have good news."
What's that?
I seem to have managed to arrange a meeting for you all of you, somehow, even though they seem to be quite aware of Kalugi. It seems you've tried to break in before Kalugi, and they didn't... They know exactly who you are. But the rest of you was a little easier to arrange over the week. But unfortunately, it's not going to be quite as simple as just waltzing up.
Okay.
Weren't you supposed to fix that up for us? I thought you had the power to do that.
Well, I do, but I am not in charge of everything. My superiors require that story, the scroll. Everything that you know, they won't budge.
Well, I immediately turned to Ellie and, kind of give her the impression like, don't do it. Don't give it.
Why can't we just give it to you after we meet with him? It's just, I don't understand why it's such a big deal. She has it all written out. It's just.
Well, they would like to get on with their side of the investigation, our side of the investigation, and we already have all of our information. The only pieces of the puzzle we don't have are, frankly, the pieces of the puzzle that you, hopefully, have in your very strange story, at least from what I'm able to piece together. We really
But you didn't really hold up your side of the deal, did you? You gave us limited access to your library, but did you actually show us everything?
No, of course not. We can't just show you everything.
How can we fully give our side of the story if you didn't even show us everything?
Well, you can see everything if you'd like to go through years and years of Inquisition training and then earning the respect of your peers.
You're saying you never wrote stuff down and have it kind of stowed away in a
I'm absolutely
room
sure
that no one's allowed in?
There's endless rooms and endless things stored away. The worst thing, we have these things called lore cubes, and they're all defunct now, so we've actually lost quite a lot of our information, but you didn't get that from me. It's just, here's the thing.
You didn't make backups? Everybody, I worked at the library. You always had a backup book for the book.
Yes, I'm sure somebody made backups, but, who's going to go through all those things when, everything's falling apart around us?
Well, this was supposed to happen before things fell apart. It's just like protocol. Do you guys not have protocol?
Oh, yes, we have protocol, but
I thought you were the Inquisition.
Well, there wasn't much of a protocol for the entirety of magic is gone now. What do we do? But we did have a protocol, but it didn't quite work out to plan. We need your side of the story. It really is the only thing I'm here to do.
I reach into, inside my I guess what would be like an overlaid sort of part of my outfit. And I do pull out a scroll and I hand it to him and I say, well, that's the first half.
Very well. He opens it on the spot immediately.
And it would be the beginning of stuff, but it wouldn't be all of it. It wouldn't be like what we face towards the end. I would say you can get the rest when we're done.
Very well.
Start with that. There's a lot of fact checking. There's a lot of things that you guys don't know. Just in that alone, you'll be able to get to work immediately.
Right.
And I pat him on the shoulder.
Well, we shall have to conduct a set of interviews after this as well, of course, to confirm and correlate information and timelines. And yes, of course. Well, we don't need to do it.
Can I see your book? Because you're getting some of our stuff. I'd like to see your book now.
Yeah, we show you ours. You show us yours.
Well, if you like, it's really just a set of garbled notes. I sort of have my own way of, yes, he hands it over to you.
Notes. You just
I yoink it and give it to Aura.
Yeah.
You write everything down.
I open it and I just start thumbing through it and kind of showing it to Beau and Ellie as I'm going through it.
Yeah.
What do I see?
Does anybody speak or read Inquisition?
Fuck.
Okay. Do I still retain my celestial dialogue abilities?
You can kind of read Celestial, yeah.
Can
you
I?
see Celestial script.
So Inquisition doesn't fall into that category.
Inquisition looks crazy. It looks like
Okay.
when you see a doctor's prescription, and it's just like that's not words.
And you just can't understand shit. Yeah, you can't read it.
It's
Oh,
like
fuck.
it feels like the equivalent of that when you look at it.
What is this? What is this? This is. Of course you'd show it to me if I. What is this?
Well, that ironically, that's your name. That's what that.
Why are you writing it? I kind of hand it over to Beau and I walk away and
Don't
just
drop-
fold my arms.
Don't drop that.
I then show him the page. This is gibberish. We don't understand this.
Well, yeah, actually, that page is sort of gibberish, I suppose. Can I have it back now?
I hand it back.
Thank you. Right. Okay. Very well. Fine.
I didn't even bother that whole time because I was looking over his shoulder when he was writing stuff down, like in the beginning.
Yeah. You probably have your own. You probably have Thieves' Cant, which you can write
Yeah.
in, which is the same kind of thing. He turns around and says, well, actually, before you go in, all right, okay, fine. We have another task.
That is.
Well, while my superiors would like you to, provide us with any information and ensure that this is not just a wild goose chase and you are not all crazy people, I don't think you are, but we have to, cross our T's and dot our I's. They've asked me personally to do something, the fortress, the Queen's people. And
What's that?
thought maybe it would be better if you did it for me, and then I can get on with, important work.
Okay, what is this task?
Yeah, what is it?
I just need you to pop into town and find a fellow by the name of, and I'll write it down for you. And he writes it in his bullshit cursive thing.
Oh, well, fuck.
So, that is Professor Piru Panu. Oh, wait, hang on. And then he writes it in common. There you go. And it is spelt this way.
I take the paper from him.
And he says, yes, that's a doctor. And, well, not just any doctor, I suppose.
You want us to kill him?
Oh, no.
Oh.
That would be very dire for all of us, I would imagine. No, he is a doctor of medicine, actual physical physician, Dr. Piru Panu, the physician, the Inquisition physician, you could say. He's our physician. He's an inquisitor to a degree, but he's really a doctor, and he's a secret doctor.
Okay, what do you need us to do? Because I didn't know we were your errand people now.
Well, yes, it's just if you do that, then I can work on negotiations to get you in. Since I now have to get them to agree to half a scroll.
Can I read him to see if he's telling the truth at all?
Yeah, and you guys have a pretty good read on him by this point, I think. Roll for me anyway.
17.
Yeah. Beau has become paranoid as hell, and maybe doesn't quite get as strong of a read on him, but I'm kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt, all of you that you know him a little better this week. He does actually always seem to be quite forthcoming with information. From what you can tell, he does seem to always be telling the truth. He really doesn't seem like he's pulling the wool over your eyes. For the most part, whenever you ask him for something, he does deliver it, whether it be a book or if he doesn't have the information, he doesn't say it. Like, he will hand over his book, even though it's bullshit. He does seem to be telling the truth most of the time. He's looking at the scroll as well while he's saying this, and he's kind of... half of his attention always seems to be elsewhere. But for the most part, you get the sense that he's not really like trying to run the ring around you or anything.
More like a lie by omission, but don't blatantly lie.
Maybe
That's what he's like.
He while thumbing through the scroll of what you've written, he says, yes, well, okay, so our the fortress seems to be in quite the tizzy, frankly. There's something going on, and I'm not privy to that information. Maybe I could speak to Worston.
Cool, we'll find that out too then.
Yes. Well, no. I would really recommend you not go anywhere near there, especially with him. Not yet, although they will be expecting you, of course. You go find this physician and bring him to the fortress, or maybe bring him to me. Yes, bring him to me first, and then we'll go to the fortress. Yes, that would be better.
What if we didn't do it?
Well, then I suppose they probably wouldn't let you in to visit your Mr. Grimm.
I mean, I guess here's the thing, Ellie. I know you want to see Grimm, but I don't want to see him that bad.
I do. I have questions for him. And then I would turn around because, I mean, this is just another errand for Ellie. Like, she's done stuff like this before. She's kidnapped people and everything. So I think, I would just turn around and start walking towards the guild again.
You're looking for a halfling man.
Halfling man.
Yeah, large ears.
Large ears.
Blonde hair down to here. He has like mutton chops.
Where does he hang out?
He hangs out at, let me find out for you. Marana's. It's a dive, really, more than.
I hear bananas.
Here we go.
Would I know where this is?
You can all roll for me to see if you've heard of it.
Did he say bananas?
I gotta have heard it.
Aura it somehow knows it. You passed it on the way in. You know exactly where it is. You have a flashback to being in the cart with 9 lives, as he says, "Oh, it's Morana's. I met my first wife there. She dead now." As he points at this place, and it was really only moments into the town. It's in the low town, right down by the gate, where the slums push out from the south and east along that big river. Pretty damn close to the gate, but looks like a rundown, very small place. It looks like. It doesn't look like a tavern, really. It looks like a building that you might live in, and they've converted maybe the floor to a very small tavern. But yeah, that comes back to you in that moment as you recognize it. Ellie, you've heard of it too. Beau knows all taverns in the entire city without having to check. But it's a terrible bar, small family-run business. But yeah, doesn't really have much of a reputation outside of that. Reginald continues. He says, "There's one last thing, which is probably why they asked me to fetch him. He's been missing for a week.
Okay.
So you'll have to find.
So he's dead.
Well, no, he's a physician, and people are dying everywhere. So you
why
might
do
just
you
have
need
to...
him? You haven't told us why you need him.
Oh well. He's the one of the greatest minds, really, in Bellona,
Yes.
I would say. So
Wouldn't the Inquisition have better tabs on its people?
we did.
There's no point in
That's what
sitting
we
here and
did.
arguing with this guy.
we
He's just
did
an
at
errand boy.
One point,
go.
indeed, have tabs on.
And we're
absolutely
becoming
everyone.
his errand boy, Ellie.
Yes, we used
We're
to be
gonna go
able
get a position so they
tap
let
a
us
globe.
inside the
Checkup.
a little globe and say a name, as long as it was your real name.
Okay, why don't you just get us to talk to Grimm, and you can find somebody else who works here to go find your
I'm very,
physician.
very much trying to get you to speak to Grimm. I want to know why you want to speak to Grimm just as much as you want to speak to Grimm.
That's Ellie. That guy almost chopped my head off. I want to go find my friend, and I want to go figure out something else.
Well,
You're saying you don't want to speak to Grimm, the guy who almost chopped your head off because you don't want to get him on our side when we go chase a guy who used to be a god.
chopped your head off.
Yeah, I don't think we need him.
I think we'll be fine with him. And I also want to find out why he tried to bust in on the queen. And I look at Kalugi.
I'll tell you why I tried to do it.
No, we know.
I'll tell you later.
I know, demon.
I'll tell you later. Don't worry about it.
She's a demon, according to him.
She's a fucking demon, and he knows it, right? Don't you know it, mate? No, I don't know it. He fucking knows it. I'm fucking telling you that. They all know it.
Plus, knowing a physician could go well for us in case something happens to any of us. I mean, look, Beau, you can heal, right? You can do bandaging, but you can't do, like, magic fingers you used to do.
No.
He can't. This Inquisition doctor can't either. He's going to be able to do bandaging as well.
Some doctors knew how to heal people without using magic. I mean, not everyone was born with magic. I wasn't.
Yes, he's quite special, actually. He's rather good at all sorts of strange things. Well, they say he cured lycanthropy. That's a curse. And he cured it with medicine.
Yeah, but curses don't exist anymore because there's no magic.
Right, but think about how
but wounds still
impressive
exist.
that is to cure something of magic with no magic.
I used to survive in the woods. I'd trip over things all the time and cut my knee open and just stitch my leg up in the woods. I could stitch you up, Ellie.
Well, he's a physician of a rather impressive nature. Oddities and strange things.
Do you ever say like what you mean?
Well, no, no, I don't.
Why?
Well, years of keeping secrets, sort of muscle memory.
Well, I don't
at this
think right
point.
now it's just tell us the truth, because then maybe I'd trust you more.
All right. Well, what I know of him, he went missing a week ago. I met him once, a very long time ago, and I found him to be eccentric. They want him up at the fortress for some reason that I find to be odd myself. Something's happening in that fortress, and I'm not sure what it is. But if they need somebody like that to cure somebody in there of something strange, then what could that mean? Why would you need a very specific, eccentric physician who can work on oddities in the fortress in this of all the weeks? Does that not strike you as odd as well?
Of course it's odd.
It is. And you know what? Maybe you are telling the truth.
Yes,
I think he's telling the truth.
I just don't want to get in trouble with my superiors. They're rather flustered at the moment with their Arch-Inquisitor laying in a casket in there. We're down to...
Are you afraid of losing your job right now?
Oh, well, that, my head.
Haven't you heard him? He doesn't even know if he'll have a job after this.
Right, yes, I'm really not quite sure what happens after this. Also, you know, the world is ending, and that's interesting.
Oh, we don't know if the world's ending.
Oh, it's rather frightening. If all of the magic can be sucked out of the world, lickety-split, drop of a hat, then what about the air? What happens if all the air disappears?
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
Let's go find this guy so we can get in the castle and find out what's going on in there, because now I want to do way more than just see Grim.
Yes, that would be very helpful. And I shall take this scroll to my superiors and see if it's enough.
Tell them that's all they're getting. We're not going to budge on that.
Very well, I shall try and argue on your behalf again for the rest of the day.
Well,
that seems like a waste of time. Why don't your superiors just work on things that can maybe solve the problem instead of making a bunch of barriers to make this more difficult?
Well, yes, I floated a very similar question, of course, but where we once had a lot of power over the Arcani Inquisition, well, there is no Arcani right now, so...
They're weak. They're susceptible to attacks from everybody right now.
Yes.
All the more reason to try to make things work.
Well, to suddenly rock the boat with the Queen, and let's go barging in and do what we want with the Inquisition. It usually... Treading on toes is not the best way to go about things in the long run, especially if the Queen decides to turn on us.
No. Isn't that what I have read books about the Inquisition. That's what you all do. You just go and do what you want.
Not with the Queen.
Matter.
It's not the same.
Well, yeah,
no, it's not the same with the Queen.
Certainly have our own autonomy, but it's really not. It's a symbiotic relationship with a lot of countries. Many countries have tried many times to remove us.
So it's corruption.
Well, no,
I got you.
There's no point in arguing.
Corruption.
You're really going to say corruption to someone I won't get into it right now. We need to go do this. The longer we argue here, the longer it takes.
Ellie, the people I care about are dying. And these people want to make heads or tails over if that's enough information.
We still have 2 weeks before Suuna gets here. That's plenty of time to go get this guy and get in the castle and get our answers and leave. Maybe with Grim, maybe not.
I just think we're not getting the whole picture.
I think there's a lot more to this picture, and I don't think badgering this guy who clearly doesn't have the answers is really going to help our case in this moment. So I think we need to go find the answers, and we're not going to find it with him. And yeah, I'm not going to say any more. Don't want him taking notes, so.
I think you should go find him. I'm going to go try to find out some things on my own.
I really don't think this is a time to split up. Not in this city. I really don't think this is a good
Not
idea.
with everything falling apart. I
People
agree.
getting hostile and attacking one another, preying on what they view as the weak. One of us gets ganged up on by, a rival gang wanting to find some power now that they have the means because magic's not here. Don't think
Well,
it's
if
a
we
good
get
idea.
this guy and we're back here talking to him about the same things, I'm going to go out and do some things on my own because this has been a pattern.
And I agree. That's only fair, Aura. That's only fair.
It's been a pattern of what? Arguing? Because we do argue a lot.
Well, no, that we aren't getting the information we need.
We've been looking at a library for a week. We didn't find our answers. I think we need to figure out what's going on in the castle, in the fortress.
They have the answers. They're just not giving it to us.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't think they do.
the other half now.
You know what? I'm not going to talk about this in front of him. And I start walking away.
Good luck.
I turn to Reginald. And I touch his chest. I'm watching you. And I turn around and walk out.
Good luck.
I do the same thing, like right before I start to follow Aura. I give him the stink eye without saying a word. I go.
I don't even bother to threaten him because the guild can take him over pretty quickly if they wanted to. So.
You guys head off in the direction of Marana's Tavern?
No, I head off in the direction of the guild again.
Of the guild? Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys head off in the direction of the guild. All three of you roll for me.
Okay.
God damn it, what's up with my rolls
17
tonight?
And an 8. Yeah, Beau's really on one.
That was me last week.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you guys head back towards the Assassin's Guild with the intention, Ellie, of looking into this professor with your guild, or are you kitting up?
I think I would try to use. I mean, because the guild does keep track of people, and if this guy happens to be if he cured werewolves essentially, or I don't know how to say it. Whatever, being a werewolf.
Make it up.
I
Yeah.
mean, we would know who he is. I imagine he's not like some little guy that made a boo boo better, right?
Yeah, okay. I was just curious about whether you were just going to pick
Well, I'm
up
saying,
some...
like, would we be able to track him? Would we have
supplies
been
and
keeping track of him?
Okay. We'll find out next week.
Oh.
I was just curious as to whether you were going to go and grab some stuff or
No, I'd say that I go straight to like ledgers of the important people we keep track of.
Yeah. All right. I think it's probably a good time to call it then. We'll see what you guys do with your additional investigative powers next time. Oh, that didn't do that. What I wanted it to do. That did. Did it? Yes. Interesting.
Sure, call it that.
Interesting choices made.
I think my computer might be freezing and dying, so just FYI.
It's
if I
fine. I don't need to
if
see
I
Everyone
your
say
smug
nice things
face.
about Pumpkinberry while she's not here. What a
Well, I can
fantastic
still hear
opening
you.
scene that was,
no,
wasn't
stop
it?
it.
Did everyone enjoy
Such a
that?
It was really good.
It did. It was
Oh no,
fantastic.
my
Have your
computer!
boyfriend.
Oh dear God! Oh no!
Yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
It was a
It was good
really-
to see you.
I
Yeah.
didn't enjoy it really.
Really good episode.
Yeah.
I would like to say that when you were playing, what was the guy's name that was talking to us about the ship?
The first one, Wayne.
Wayne broke me, and it's the first time I remember in forever that I just couldn't character. I was like, if I talk, I'm just gonna laugh, so I can't do it. So I was just standing there like, oh god.
Yeah. I didn't write a lot for these characters because sometimes with my NPCs I like to just leave them kind of open for when I play them. But for Wayne, by the way, when you rolled a 5, I just counted down my list of names for the crew, so that you could bump into one of the crew, to number 5. But it's Wayne spelled Wain, which just it makes me laugh because I think I randomized the name, but I was like, Wayne is such an English name, like or like a British name, like Wayne. I don't know. Like I've never met anyone from anywhere called Wayne. The only Wayne I've ever met was I had a boss at a toy store that I worked in for a long time when I was 17 for a weekend job. He was called Wayne, and he was from up north, up in.
There she is.
He was from Leeds or somewhere. So all I wrote next to Wayne was the word Sheffield, which and I was like, I'm just gonna do a weird.
Like Pilkington.
I was just gonna do like a Carl Pilkington.
Yep.
On a ship, a kind of character is just what happened with him.
Totally
And it's like
did. He
of
was killing me.
all the
Very
people on
good.
my list here for the NPCs for like stuff that I'd written down for them, he had the just one word, nothing else. And I was like, that's the one you bump into. Could have been worse.
I had to reach for the mute button.
Could have been Ozzy the Goliath
times.
who
Ozzy the Goliath.
throws rocks at people and eats deer whole and live.
I wasn't sure if that was real or an exaggeration.
Oh, you'll get to meet Ozzy, I'm sure.
Yes,
Or maybe
can't
you'll
wait.
see. Maybe.
So are we
who knows?
guaranteed passage on the ship? No.
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Suuna is.
He just goes,
I am.
no.
I can't believe that. I'm opening about my feelings, sort of, kind of, ish for the first time, and then the next fucking smug little shit that comes along, she's all fucking slitting her eyelids and she's Tony.
It worked. He's never
No,
felt
but
better.
why?
Why would he not
Amazing.
immediately fall in love? I was like, how do I
Yeah.
interpret that? This man. She's like, he's never felt better. I'm like, okay, he's in love then. Like, yeah, that made me laugh a lot. The others getting the run around from the Inquisition. Lol, idiots, kidding, or am I? Who knows? The Inquisition running you around, doing stuff. We'll find out. Maybe, or maybe they'll just keep running around. Maybe they'll kill him. Surprised Ellie hasn't killed him yet. I'm also surprised that it was.
I am so surprised Ellie is willing to play ball.
I know Ellie's playing ball now, and Aura is like, let's just kill everyone.
I was so down for kidnapping him and torturing him.
Here's the
Like,
problem that people don't seem to understand is Ellie is human again, and she is back in bureaucratic mode too. Where if she just kills the Inquisition, that's the Inquisition and maybe the Queen versus the assassins. She can't do that. She can't
You
risk it.
being diplomatic is making me play Zach in a way where he's bringing you back in.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, let's do this together now because you're kind of playing ball with everyone, like kind of
Yeah.
he does in a way. And so I love that. But then Aura's like, why don't we just behead everyone?
Yeah.
Until we get the answers
Aura
we need.
really is how many times did Aura over the course of all time try to stop Ellie
I
from
love
killing?
it. I love it so
yeah,
much.
but like now it's a matter of I'll do anything for the ones I love. Like Aura's at her breaking point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
awesome.
and also
No, I get that. It's just
we must all feel responsible on some level for what's happened.
Absolutely.
This is how
I think
Aura's
Ellie's
dealing
like,
with hers.
I'm in
yeah.
my prime element right now. She's back to being human, and she's an assassin.
and you're in
And
your
there's
home
no magic
city.
to stop her. You
Yeah.
are now
there's no
the
magic to
most.
stop her.
Yeah, you guys are the most powerful now.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Aura
And-
too. Aura's like
King
pretty,
shit.
pretty good with her own things, but she's kind of out of her element in a lot of ways. You know, it's like,
It's sus
I
as
had
hell.
intentions before you ended it to talk to Aura before like we went back out, but Ellie's got stuff going on up here where she's like, I'm not even gonna bother with this guy. He's an errand boy. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love watching how you're all approaching these things. I mean, part of me was like, oh, Ellie's just gonna go to the fortress by cover of darkness. Like
I was debating it, but then I was like, oh, if I get trapped there, oh.
it's a very, very dangerous route, but like it just seemed like the Ellie approach to something, and actually you've kind of twisted it around, and you're like, oh, but I don't need to do that.
Which is why Zach's
It's a
helping
really
her more
interesting
than we know.
character growth, and then you have Aura who's committing to this kind of approach of, I need to save Alvin's life right now.
Yeah.
Like it's like the impatience of like this need. I love it.
Well,
I
because I
love just
think
watching it.
the unspoken idea is that if Alvin dies, it's my fault because we did this, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're
Yeah.
running out of time in character for sure. And like as I was leaving, he was feeling a little bit better, but he was weaker. And so I can only imagine she's sitting there thinking he's dying slowly unless I
And
fix
I'm
this.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not there to take care of him.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's a good thing we're going to find a doctor.
Hey. Yes.
True.
Saying.
You can go and find the Inquisition physician next time, and we'll see what this ship is all about, and we'll see if Beau ever catches up with Inquisitor. What's her name?
No, I hope
She
so.
has
Helga.
There's a
Helga.
name. Is it Helga?
Helga, she's a big old strong woman with a nice bosom.
Inquisitor Helga with the bosom.
First thing Beau said is that reminds me of the mermaids.
Oh, yeah.
God.
You're never gonna
All right. Yeah, we'll do a round of shout outs so people can find you during the week where you are on your streams and things and stuff. We'll start with the brand new Aura, the Dark Knight.
murder hobo.
With 80% more murder.
Now with 80%
more
more
murder.
murder.
Oh.
Yeah, where can people find you, KPP?
They can find me at Katie Peters Plays and on Twitter at Play Katie Play. And I'm like, the fact that you ended today's episode, I'm already like, but there's so much more I want to do and say. And so I'm excited for next week. But oh man,
Yeah,
I'm
this
sorry.
one went
I
through
hope
quick.
I feel so suspect about this Inquisition business. There's
Oh,
just
yeah.
something about it.
Oh yeah.
I think we need to have a heart to heart because I think Ellie would be like, oh, I don't trust him for like an inch of my life. So
There's so many things that I'm excited to.
don't worry, I'm cooking up things for you.
Oh God, as if Aura doesn't start swinging her sword at any minute. But yeah, I'm excited for next week. I loved the side story with everybody else today too. I was just sitting here with my popcorn, and I thought you were gonna tell Toby you liked him today, and I was so.
And then she went off with another dude.
Oh, it's just the best.
I'm glad you're on my side here. Thank you.
But yeah, that's me. I played Aura. I'm Katie Peters Plays. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, KPP. Why did Suuna run off with another man? We may never know. You can ask Pumpkinberry on her stream tomorrow. Maybe.
Yes.
I have no idea when you stream anymore. Once
Me
a
either.
week for 25 minutes.
Yeah. I'm Pumpkinberry. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry, and I played Suuna for you today. Yeah, what am I doing right now? I'm playing Silent Hill. I'm playing through the Silent Hill series. I'm on Silent Hill 4. We're going to be doing more ghost hunting next week. I don't know which days. And yeah, that's what's coming up for me next week. And then, of course, I'm here on Wednesdays jamming Gone, and on Saturdays playing a vampire for Leech. And yeah, thank you.
You can also go to tablestory.tv/the monolith, and it will take you to Pumpkinberry's channel.
That's not real. Did you actually make that? No, you didn't.
I would love to.
No, you didn't.
I will try.
Okay, well,
I don't know how.
you know what you can do?
No,
you know
you're
what is
breaking,
real?
Brad.
Twitch.tv twat, and that'll take you to Brad.
And that's why you
real.
should be
Go
the
try
monolith.
that right
It's
now.
true. It's true. Twitch.tv/twat will for some reason take you to my channel. Why?
For
I
some
can't figure out
reason.
why.
No idea why.
Well, the only other person who probably calls people twats and not twats is young Zakoticus. I loved the reaction to the man. I'm sorry to have done it to you.
So good.
But it was
It
so
made me
good.
laugh.
Just wanted to say
his
that.
dead stare right into the camera when it was happening. I happened to glance over and I was like, "Oh no!"
It was so good. It was like making me like wobble on character because I just wanted to laugh so much. So I just needed you to know that. I don't know. All right, what are you doing and where do you do it?
Yeah, well, I'm here on Table Story on Tuesdays as well, where I play Alexander Pippin. He's a Ravenclaw student at Hogwarts, and there's some shenanigans going down, and we're trying to figure it out, me and a wonderful cast of people, so come check that out. And you can find me everywhere on the internet as Gorkus on all the places. I've been streaming Hades a whole bunch. It's so much fun, but our stepmom, Nyx, is a bit of an asshole. You can come to my stream and find out why. What?
I don't know what it means. Yeah, I haven't seen much of Hades other than the stream of
Yeah, I
yours that
haven't
I was
either.
watching, but you were like talking about like these really advanced mechanics in the game because you're like esports pro at Hades. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna look at the pretty colors and
the game is gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
7 IQ.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, I have a podcast as Godcast. You can check that out. I talk with people about stuff. It's not edited. It's just me and someone cool having a cool chat about things. It's good. So check it out. I know I have a guest early November-ish I'll have on. And before then, I'll probably try and grab someone and chat about stuff. But I'm not worried about it.
All right. Zucoticus, twitch.tv/twat2. Table story. All right. Well, what about you? Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
It is. I am Tuesday Gray. I played Kairo for you today. I was driven speechless by a very funny interaction. You can find me not speechless at all on Saturdays on this very channel, playing a sassy vampire. Definitely tune into Leech if you haven't yet, because it's super cool and it's one of the best things ever. So yeah, Table Story Saturdays and Sundays, and that's it for now.
But you are coming back soon, right?
Soon, yes.
Soon, Tien.
Yes. Exactly.
Trying to get her to pick a date and make it official.
They're trying to put a ring on me, guys.
Yeah.
What about you, Disby?
Hi, I'm Disby. I played Bobo for you today. You can find me at that same handle, Twitch and Twitter. I can't wait for Amnesia Rebirth coming out next week. I'll be checking that out and do some ghost hunting as well. So yeah, that's it for me. And I had a blast as always with everybody. Awesome RP. Thank you so much for the great sesh.
Thank you, Bobo. I'm literally just double checking that I have the correct details. Large bosom, muscular. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Who doesn't like big bosoms?
Well, I don't know.
Listen, I cannot lie.
Yes.
I'm Bobo.
By Bo Bobo, his next bardic hit. What about you, Pocket?
You can find me at twitch.tv/pocket or on Twitter @pocket. I've been editing a lot of photos this week instead of streaming, but I'll be back to makeup, Halloween makeup stuff and streaming this week. So this next week, yes. So yay! I look forward to next week. I have so many ideas cooking up here. So,
Yeah, write them all down. We blitzed through this episode today. Like, I'm so expected to do more, but it's just so nice to let you explore the scenes a bit more, because I feel like we blitzed through the main campaign, a lot of it, because there was stuff to do. There was a relative kind of time limit. There was a lot of direct pressure, although I know Aura still feels that direct pressure. It's like nice to still be able to let you roleplay stuff out. And since we don't have things like D&D style combat or even D&D style like puzzles and stuff like that to do, there's a little bit less mechanics, so there's more room for roleplay. So I've just been letting you kind of just play it out, even if I'm in it, and just exploring that.
Pressure cooker. Is that
Right,
what you're doing to us? Yeah. Like, we feel the pressure to continue, but we literally cannot go any faster. We have no magic. We cannot, we have to.
We have to actually do like mundane things to get to the end.
Yeah.
How terrible it feels to
How
be
terrible
powerless.
it must feel. Yeah.
I feel great.
Yeah, you feel fine.
I'm
Yeah,
human
because
again.
you're the big fish now, right?
Yeah, well, and Ellie's human again. She actually gets to feel. That's a situation she never thought she'd ever feel again. Is like to be human, to feel emotion, and be like, well, maybe we shouldn't just go and do that.
Yeah.
You know.
It's right. Yeah, and no one can like snap their fingers and just magic up the answers, and it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
No Google.
No
So
Google,
frustrating.
no answers to questions immediately, and it's a little frustrating, but also I think it's fun for us to watch and hopefully fun to play. Probably not. KP,
Yes.
please, like, give me
Loads of fun.
this, get me out of this.
No, I like it.
I'm gonna stop
I just-
beheading people.
Start swinging my sword around,
Start swinging.
taking
It's an
people out.
experience.
Give me-
What I would say.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see whether all of this is just a runaround or if it's fruitless or what's going on next time. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Remember that we have a brand new show coming up. We have all of our shows during the week. Make sure you catch them. We have a Discord channel for all of you people to theorycraft about all of the different shows. And if you go to tablestory.tv/the monolith, it will take you to Pumpkinberry's channel.
No, it won't. No, it will not. It will not.
Thanks
Also,
again.
quick shout out to the new folks in the chat. We had a bunch of new people. I have no idea why, but hello.
New
we see-
people,
Welcome
Hi.
welcome
and bye.
and
Bye.
goodbye.
Hi, bye.
Bye bye. Ta-ta.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Yeah.